uh, Government Whip and the member of Facility Council to please come on the dais, sir. Chandragiri, Yasuratnam Gari, also.
Chairman Michyad Guntur, please come on dais, sir. Sir, Dr. Ala garu.
Dr. Ala Venkateswaru, the patron of this conference, please come on the dais, sir. Dharamveer ji. No. Allah sir. No, 1 minute. You please come, sir. Please make a space. Dharamveer be here. We request the grandson of BP Mandalji, Sri Suraj Mandalji. He's professor of history in Delhi University. Sir, please come. He's the special guest in this conference. Sir, please come on the dais. Allah sir, please take your seat also. Allah sir, please. I request the audience to please take their seat. Come forward, come closer to the dais. Please come, take your seat. We are going to begin the program. Before I call Dr. Ala Venkateswaru to deliver his welcome address, I would like to explain the purpose of conducting this conference. I would just explain certain facts before you, that what is needed, why caste census is needed, and what is the demand of caste census in this country. Why the people are demanding for caste census, agitating for caste census. See, please switch off your mobile also. We have many commissions in this country. We had Kaka Kalelkar commission in 1953. After our country got freedom, we have Kaka Kalelkar commission for the backward classes. Article 340 was made by the Constituent Assembly, and the power of that committee was to constitute a commission to look after the backwards. So, see, the situation of the backwards in the country is very poor. They are numerically in large number, but they're in good number, but they are badly represented in all the pillars of democracy. You take the example of the backwards in the Karyapalika, bureaucracy, legislative, you take their representation in the parliament, very poor, judiciary, very poor, and journalism, you all know, it's being controlled by, all the resources are controlled by the, few people of this country. And we are badly represented. Any field, culture, sports, anything, we are nowhere. So, and we are, we have fixed the target of becoming 5 trillion economy. We are thinking of making this India a great country without thinking about the people who don't have any representation in culture, social life, cultural life, and who don't have any access to cultural capital, social capital, and they are badly, marginalized. Take the example, we have Rohidi Commission, we had, for the representation of the Muslims, we had a commission. The report lies with the government, nothing has been done. In bureaucracy, just few years back, we had no we had no backward caste secretary in the PM, cabinet of the Prime Minister, Secretariat of the Prime Minister. See, in this parliament, in 2019's parliament, the backwards were highly represented in the 1990s parliament when BP Singh was the Prime Minister. They were 25%. Now, they are only, they are below 20% in 2019 parliament. And the people who are only 10% in the country, they are 44% represented in the parliament. Like the upper caste parliamentarians in the country are 44%. So you need to know all these things, though the government doesn't give any data because they don't have any data. They don't know that, especially about the backwards, that how much caste, we are divided into caste, but we do not know our population. And we have our welfare department, ministry, and we have our welfare programs. How strange it is. How, very difficult for the, for the backwards to just come up in this oppressive structure of the society. It's very difficult. You take the example of judiciary. Before 2014, out of this High Court and Supreme Court judges, only 5 were from the backward caste, 5 were from the scheduled caste. So far, after the independence of the country, no tribal has been a judge of High Court and Supreme Court. And they constitute the 10% population of this country. See, you can just think about it. Only 12 Muslim judges, and majority of them were the High Court and the Supreme Court. Before 2000, this is the data. 12 Muslim judges, out of majority of them were the upper caste. See, who is representing our courts? Who is take the example of media. No single editor in English print and electronic, Hindi print and electronic is from backward caste. Not a single. This YouTube has basically, offered a democratic platform for us. So that is a briefly situation. We don't have any data in this country because the government is least bothered about data. They believe in charity. So it's up to the backwards whether they want charity or their share. They have to decide. This is now or never kind of fight. You have to decide whether you want your share or you want charity. So see, take the example of bureaucracy, like all these 4 pillars of democracy, we are badly represented. Jobs, I tell you, single data, before the implementation of the Mandal Commission, the representation of the backward in, Mandal got implemented on 7th August 1990, and before that, the backwards were only 5% in Group A jobs. 90% upper caste were represented. And after Mandal's implementation, we are still only below 15%. Group A jobs. See, we have got 27% quota in central government jobs, and you will be surprised, the government came forward with data that only out of that 27%, 22%, 23% are filled up. It's still vacant because the creamy layer kind of thing is there. B, in Group B, C, D jobs, we have our higher representation. You'll be surprised, even the Dalit communities are better represented than us. They have got 15% reservation and they have almost 16%. The tribals, they are 8.5% in Group A services. These are the data which we need to ponder over, think over. These are the small things, but these are the regions actually. A person, if he is not financially well off, he can't take care of his family's cultural, social and personal, needs. You don't think that merit is, they are born with merit. Actually, merit is made up of 3 things: intelligence, ambience and opportunity, which they don't have. They don't have ambience because their families have lots of challenges. They don't have opportunity because they stay in remote areas, and they don't have intelligence at times, sometimes, because they suffer from malnutrition. They don't have access to good food. good living conditions, and they have challenges before them. So merit is all three things: intelligence, opportunity, and ambience, which they don't have. They will have to fight for their share. And the purpose of this conference is, we have got good papers, and we are still will get connected with, with some resource person from abroad. They have also good papers. So kindly listen to, if possible for you, to this conference. We have good deliberation. We'll have good papers, which could be, very much helpful in our evolvement, in our liberation. This type of efforts has to be taken to liberate ourselves, to make us free, make us, to strengthen ourselves, to empower ourselves. These are the things which I wanted to just share with you. There are many things which I won't, because we are already delayed. We are already late. So I would request our dear personality, Dr. Ala Venkateswari. He is a popular doctor here, and he has lots of challenges. I don't think that he has slept for last 15 days, a couple of weeks, because he has been single-handedly doing all those things. He is such a great person who doesn't only inspire the people of Guntur, now he is inspiring the whole country. I got a call from Venugopal from Mahbub Nagar. He said that, sir, I am inspired, and I also want to install the statue of BP Mandal in Mahbub Nagar, in Telangana. So this is small initiative. This small initiative by Dr. Ala Venkateswari is going to be a revolution, I tell you. This French Revolution took place just because of a loaf of bread. Loaf of bread. So this small step is going to be a gigantic step. You welcome him with a big hand. Big hand. He deserves more than this. And I hope throughout, with this small step, he will take, he will scale bigger heights, bigger distances, and he is a very, he is a very important, special resource among the BCs. We are privileged, sir, to have you. We are really thankful to have you among us. I invite you to deliver our welcome address. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am very grateful to stand before you. Okay. For this 3-day international conference. Okay. Convenient. Okay. First and foremost, I welcome our beloved Mayor, young and dynamic Mayor, for accepting our invitation and coming to this inaugural function and giving permission to BP Mandal statue here in Guntur. It is a historic step in the history of Guntur. I want to welcome OSRCP BCSL Chairman Sri Janga Krishnamurthy Garu, and also I would like to welcome Sri Vesratram Garu and so many dignitaries. And also I welcome my teachers, Subramanian Garu, CSR Garu, Abdul Noor Basha Garu. And I also welcome Justice Virendra Singh Yadav from UP. And also most important person on the diocese, grandson of BP Mandal, Sri Suvaraj Mandal. We are all hope this, from this historical conference, we are expecting a wonderful roadmap to our Mandal 2 agitation for social justice from Guntur. This is a land of Buddha. We have Nagarjuna Sagar, Nagarjuna University, and Hotel Grand Nagarjuna. Thank you all.
Sir, you introduce because I invite our when you compare north and south, you will find many systematic cities in southern states in comparison to the northern states, North India, and the credit goes to the struggle of the people of the Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka. They have better living conditions, and this should be realized by the people from the North India. So Guntur is a beautiful city. I welcome the mayor, who is the caretaker of this city. Sir, please come and deliver your lecture or your views about this conference. I would request also Allah sir to introduce him. Sir, कुछ बता दीजिए. हाँ?
ముందుగా వేదిక మీద ఉన్నటువంటి పెద్దలు, బీపీ మండల్ విగ్రహాన్ని గుంటూరు నగరంలో స్థాపించాలని చెప్పేసి మొట్టమొదటిగా ఆలోచన చేసి, మరి నాకు తెలిసి ఈ ఆంధ్ర రాష్ట్రంలోనే, అంటే తెలుగు రాష్ట్రంలోనే మొట్టమొదటిగా, అదే సౌత్ ఇండియాలో, అంటే ఇటు కర్ణాటక, తమిళనాడు, కేరళ, తెలంగాణ, ఆంధ్ర, వీటన్నిటిలో మొట్టమొదటిగా సౌత్లోనే మొట్టమొదటిగా ఈ బీపీ మండల్ గారి యొక్క విగ్రహాన్ని గుంటూరులో ఏర్పాటు చేయాలని చెప్పేసి ఆలోచన చేసి ఆచరణలోకి తీసుకొచ్చినటువంటి పెద్దలు, గౌరవనీయులు ఈ విగ్రహ కమిటీ చైర్మన్ డాక్టర్ ఆలా వెంకటేశ్వరరావు గారికి, అదేవిధంగా మరొక పెద్దలు, గౌరవనీయులు, మాకు అత్యంత ఆప్తులు, మా అన్నయ్య శాసనమండలి సభ్యులు, మరి ప్రభుత్వ విప్పు జంగా కృష్ణమూర్తి గారికి, అదేవిధంగా మరొక పెద్దలు, గౌరవనీయులు, మరి గుంటూరు మిర్చి యార్డ్ చైర్మన్, అంటే ఇండియాలోనే ద లార్జెస్ట్ మిర్చి యార్డ్ ఇన్ ఇండియా, మరి అలాంటి యార్డ్ చైర్మన్ అయినటువంటి పెద్దలు, గౌరవనీయులు యేసురత్నం గారికి, మరి అదేవిధంగా మరి సూరజ్ మండల్, అంటే బీపీ మండల్ గారి మనవడు, మరి మొదటి నుంచి కూడా ఈ విగ్రహ శంకుస్థాపన కార్యక్రమం దగ్గర నుంచి అన్ని పనుల్లో కూడా ఆయన ఆలోచన ప్రకారం కూడా ఈ యొక్క విగ్రహ నిర్మాణం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. మరి ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి వచ్చేసినటువంటి బీపీ మండల్ గారి మనవడలు సూరజ్ మండల్ గారికి, అది వివిధ ప్రాంతాల నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి పెద్దలందరికీ కూడా ముందుగా నా యొక్క హృదయపూర్వకమైనటువంటి ధన్యవాదాలు, కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలియజేసుకుంటా ఉన్నాం. మరి ఈరోజు మనం అందరం కూడా ఒక ఇంటర్నేషనల్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ నిర్వహించడం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. అంటే ప్రధానంగా మన హక్కుల గురించి రాజ్యాంగంలో డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ గారు రాసినటువంటి రాజ్యాంగం ప్రకారం అందరూ సమానమే, అందరూ సరిసమానంగా అన్ని ప్రభుత్వ ఉద్యోగాలు, అన్ని శాఖలలో కూడా సరిసమానమైనటువంటి పాత్ర పోషించాలి, అందరూ కూడా సమానమే, మనం అందరం కూడా భారతదేశ బిడ్డలం, భరతమాత ముద్దు బిడ్డలం అనేటువంటి నినాదంతో మనం అందరం కూడా కలిసి ఉండాలనేటువంటి దాంతో ఈరోజు ఇంటర్నేషనల్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ నిర్వహించడం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. మరి దీనికి సంబంధించి చాలామంది పెద్దలు నార్త్ నుంచి, సౌత్ నుంచి, అదేవిధంగా ఈ తెలుగు రాష్ట్రం నుంచి కూడా చాలామంది పెద్దలు కూడా, మరి పెద్దలందరూ కూడా విచ్చేశారు. మరి మేధావులందరూ కూడా, మరి వారందరికీ కూడా మరి ప్రత్యేకమైన ధన్యవాదాలు. మరి ఈరోజు ఈ కాన్ఫరెన్స్తో పాటు ఎల్లుండి 12వ తారీఖున మరి బీపీ మండల్ గారి యొక్క విగ్రహాన్ని మనం అందరం కూడా ఆవిష్కరించుకోవడం కూడా జరుగుతూ ఉంది. అంటే ఈరోజు బీసీలు రిజర్వేషన్ అనుభవిస్తూ ఉన్నారంటే ఆ రిజర్వేషన్కి ప్రధానమైనటువంటి రూపకర్త, ఉద్యమకారుడు మరి బీపీ మండల్ గారు. మరి ఇంతమంది దగ్గరగా 113 కులాలు బీసీల్లో ఉన్నటువంటి పరిస్థితి. మరి వీటందరికీ కూడా అన్ని ప్రభుత్వాలలో, అంటే ఏ ప్రభుత్వం వచ్చినా కూడా వాళ్ళు బీసీలకి చెప్పేసి కూడా నేను చెప్తా ఉన్నా. మరి ఎందుకంటే ముఖ్యంగా ఈ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రి జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి గారు మరి ప్రభుత్వ ఉద్యోగుల్లో పాటు ఏ ఒక్క రాజకీయ పదవుల్లో చూసినా కూడా, అన్నిట్లో చూసినా కూడా మరి దగ్గరగా 60% మంది పైచీలకు బీసీలకి ప్రాముఖ్యత ఇచ్చినటువంటి ముఖ్యమంత్రి ఈ దేశ చరిత్రలో ఎవరైనా ఉన్నారంటే అది కేవలం జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి గారు మాత్రమే అని చెప్పేసి కూడా నేను చెప్తా ఉన్నా. ఎందుకంటే సుమారు 56 కులాలు, ఈ 56 కులాల్లో కూడా ఏ కులానికి ఆ కులానికి మరి కార్పొరేషన్ ఏర్పాటు చేసి ఆ కుల సమస్యలు తెలుసుకొని ఆ సమస్యలు పరిష్కరించుకోవడానికి మరి ప్రభుత్వం దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి ఆ సమస్యలు పరిష్కరించడానికి విధంగా మరి కార్పొరేషన్ ఏర్పాటు చేసి చైర్మన్ని, డైరెక్టర్లను కూడా నెలకొల్పినటువంటి పరిస్థితి. ఈరోజు మేయర్లు చూద్దాం, ఈరోజు జడ్పీ చైర్మన్స్ వీళ్ళందరినీ కూడా చూసినా కూడా దగ్గరగా మేయర్లు ఈ రాష్ట్రంలో 16 మంది ఉంటే మరి నాకు తెలిసి 13 మంది ఎస్సీ, ఎస్టీ, బీసీ మైనార్టీలకు సంబంధించినటువంటి వాళ్ళు 13 మంది మరి మేయర్లు ఉన్నారు. అదేవిధంగా 13 జిల్లాల్లో జిల్లా పరిషత్తులు చూస్తూ ఉంటే దగ్గరగా 11 జిల్లాలలో ఈరోజు జిల్లా పరిషత్ చైర్మన్గా ఎస్సీ, ఎస్టీ, బీసీ మైనార్టీలు ఉండేటువంటి పరిస్థితి అని చెప్పేసి కూడా నేను చెప్తా ఉన్నాను. మరి తప్పకుండా, ఎందుకంటే ఈరోజు బీపీ మండల్ గారి విగ్రహాన్ని మరి ఎల్లుండి మనం ప్రారంభించుకోబోతా ఉన్నాం. పెద్దలందరూ కూడా చాలామంది కూడా వస్తూ ఉన్నారు. మరి గుంటూరు నగరంలో మాకు చాలా గర్వంగా ఉంది. ఎందుకంటే ఆలా వెంకటేశ్వరరావు గారికి, అదేవిధంగా మా జంగా కృష్ణమూర్తి అన్నకి మరొకసారి మా గుంటూరు నగరం తరపు నుంచి కూడా వాళ్ళకి ప్రత్యేకమైనటువంటి ధన్యవాద కృతజ్ఞత తెలియజేసుకుంటా ఉన్నా. ఎందుకంటే ఈ విగ్రహం విషయంలో వాళ్ళు చాలా కష్టపడ్డారు. ఆయన కానీ, అదేవిధంగా శివకుమార్ గారు కానీ, అదేవిధంగా చాలామంది పెద్దలు, ఎందుకంటే పేరున మరి చెప్పాలి అంటే చాలామంది ఉన్నారు. వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా ఈ యొక్క విగ్రహం విషయంలో చాలా కష్టపడి ఆ విగ్రహం అప్రూవల్ విషయంలో కానీ, నిర్మాణ విషయంలో కానీ అందరి యొక్క వర్గాల అభిప్రాయం తీసుకొని అందరి యొక్క ఆలోచన ప్రకారం కూడా విగ్రహ నిర్మాణం చేయడం కూడా జరిగింది. మరి అలాంటి మహనీయుడి యొక్క విగ్రహాన్ని మనం గుంటూరు నగరంలోనే, ఈ సౌత్లోనే మొట్టమొదటిగా గుంటూరు నగరంలోనే పెట్టడం, మరి ఆ గుంటూరుకి మేయర్గా నేను ఉండటం నా యొక్క అదృష్టం అని చెప్పేసి కూడా నేను భావిస్తూ, తప్పకుండా మీ అందరి యొక్క ఆలోచన ప్రకారం బీపీ మండల్ గారి ఆశయాల ప్రకారం కూడా మనం అందరం కూడా నడుచుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఎంతైనా ఉందని చెప్పేసి కూడా చెప్తూ, మరి అదేవిధంగా ఆ ప్రాంతానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి ఈ యొక్క జంక్షన్ని మరి బీపీ మండల్ చౌక్గా పెట్టాలని చెప్పేసి కూడా ఇప్పుడు చెప్తా ఉన్నారు. తప్పకుండా దానికి సంబంధించి కూడా చర్యలు తీసుకుంటామని చెప్పేసి కూడా వేదిక మీద నుంచి కూడా చెప్తున్నా ఉన్నాను. అదేవిధంగా ఈ విగ్రహానికి సంబంధించి మరి జంగా కృష్ణమూర్తి గారికి, అదేవిధంగా ఆలా వెంకటేశ్వరరావు గారికి, అదేవిధంగా ఈ విగ్రహం నిర్మాణంలో ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళందరికీ కూడా పేరున ధన్యవాద కృతజ్ఞత తెలియజేసుకుంటూ సెలవు తీసుకుంటా ఉన్నాను.
I invite Yesuratnam sir, retired DIG from Andhra Pradesh, to he's a special guest on the occasion. I invite sir to express his views, please sir.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఈరోజు ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి ముఖ్య అతిథులుగా విచ్చేసిన మరి మండల్ కమిషన్ మరి మనవడు సూరజ్ మండల్ గారికి, అదేవిధంగా మరొక ముఖ్య అతిథులు మరి మనందరికీ సుపరిచితులు మరి మనోహర్ నాయుడు గారు మేయర్ గారికి, మరి వైఎస్ఆర్సిపి బీసీసీఎల్ అధ్యక్షులు శ్రీ జంగా కృష్ణమూర్తి గారికి, మరి ఈరోజు కార్యక్రమానికి కర్త కర్మ క్రియ మరి డాక్టర్ శ్రీ ఆలా వెంకటేశ్వరరావు గారికి, మరి ఎంతోమంది పెద్దలు ఉన్నారు ఇక్కడ, జస్టిస్ ఉన్నారు, తర్వాత మాస్టర్లు, హెడ్ మాస్టర్స్ ఎంతోమంది పెద్దలు ఉన్నారు. అందరికి కూడా పేరున మరి ధన్యవాదాలు మరి శుభాకాంక్షలు. ఎందుకంటే నిజంగా చరిత్రలో మరి ఇదొక సువర్ణాక్షరాలాగా సౌత్ ఇండియాలో మొట్టమొదటిసారిగా మరి బీసీలంతా ఆరాధించే మండల్ గారిని విగ్రహాన్ని ఏర్పాటు చేసుకోవటం, బీపీ మండల్ గారి విగ్రహాన్ని ఏర్పాటు చేసుకోవడం చాలా సంతోషం. ఈ సందర్భంగా ఆ రోజు జరిగిన విగ్రహం శంకుస్థాపన చేసిన రోజు జరిగిన సభలో మరి పెద్దలు, ఢిల్లీ నుంచి వచ్చిన పెద్దలు వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడే మరి వివరంగా చెప్పిన విషయాల్ని, అది అట్లా కాదు, ఈ విధంగా ఒక సెమినారు మరి ఏదన్నా ఒక కార్యక్రమం ఏర్పాటు చేస్తే బాగుంటుందని ఇప్పుడు నేషనల్ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ లెవెల్లో మరి ఈ సెమినార్ ఏర్పాటు చేయడం కూడా చాలా సంతోషించాల్సిన విషయం. ఈ రోజున భారతదేశంలో చూసినట్టయితే సవివరంగా మరి ఇప్పుడు చెప్పారు. మళ్ళీ కూడా ఎంతోమంది పెద్దలు ఉన్నారు. మరి ప్రతి ఒక్కరిలో కూడా ఒక్కొక్కరిలో మరి ఎంతో నాలెడ్జ్ ఉంటుంది ఒక్కొక్క యాంగిల్లో. మీ అందరి నాలెడ్జ్ని కూడా ఈ రోజున ఈ సెమినార్లో భాగస్వాములై మరి అందరూ కూడా ఎక్స్చేంజ్ చేయాలని కోరుకుంటూ, ఈ రోజున మరి మన దగ్గర మొదలుపెట్టిన ఈ కార్యక్రమం ఆల్రెడీ మహబూబ్ నగర్లో, అంతేకాకుండా ఆంధ్ర రాష్ట్రంలో కూడా చాలా ప్రాంతాల్లో బీసీ సోదరులు విగ్రహ ప్రతిష్ఠించడానికి చాలా ముందుకు వస్తున్నారు. మరి నిజంగా ఇది చాలా శుభసూచకం. కాబట్టి మరి ఒక మంచి తలంపుతోటి మన డాక్టర్ ఆలా వెంకటేశ్వరరావు గారు తలపెట్టిన ఈ కార్యక్రమంలో మరి అత్యధిక జనాభా ఉన్న బీసీ జనాభా ఉన్న ఆంధ్ర రాష్ట్రంలో మరి కేవలం ఏదో విగ్రహ ప్రతిష్టే కాకుండా మరి బీసీ సోదరులకు మరి రావాల్సినవన్నీ కూడా చూసినట్టయితే మరి ఈరోజు భారతదేశంలో ఎక్కడ చూసినా కానీ మరి బీసీ ముఖ్యమంత్రులు ఉన్న ప్రాంతంలో కూడా బీసీలకి ఇంత పెద్ద పీట వేసిన రాష్ట్రాలు మరి కంటే కూడా మిన్నగా మన ఆంధ్ర రాష్ట్రం ముందుందని చెప్పొచ్చు. ఈ రోజున మన ముఖ్య అతిథులు మరి మనోహర్ నాయుడు గారు చెప్పిన విధంగా ఈ రోజున ఎక్కడ చూసినా కానీ మరి నామినేటెడ్ పదవుల్లో 50% బీసీ, ఎస్సీ, ఎస్టీ మైనారిటీలకు ఇవ్వటం అనేది చరిత్రలో సువర్ణాక్షరాలతో రాసిపెట్టిన మరి విషయం. ఎందుకంటే గతంలో చూసినట్టయితే నామినేటెడ్ పదవులు అంటే ఏ ప్రభుత్వంలోనైనా సరే నామినేటెడ్ పదవులు అంటే ఈ రోజున ఏషియాలోనే అత్యంత ప్రతిష్టాత్మకమైన మిర్చియార్డ్కి ఒక బీసీ వర్గానికి చెందిన నన్ను మూడోసారి కూడా ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారు మరి నియమించడం అనేది చాలా సంతోషించాల్సిన విషయం. అట్లనే చూసినట్టయితే ఆంధ్ర రాష్ట్రంలో మరి బీసీలకి చాలా పెద్ద పీట వేసిన మన ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారు మరి ఇదే మరి భారతదేశం లెవెల్లో కూడా పెద్దలు చెప్పారు. సుప్రీంకోర్టులో కానీ హైకోర్టులో కానీ మరి ఏది జనాభా ప్రాతిపదికన ఆ నిష్పత్తిలో మరి జనాభా ప్రాతిపదికన అన్నిటిలో కూడా పదవులు రావాలని ఒక ఆంధ్ర రాష్ట్రంలో ఏ విధంగా అయితే జరుగుతుందో మరి భారతదేశంలో ఉన్న అన్ని రాష్ట్రాల్లో కూడా మరి ఇది భారీ ఎత్తున అన్ని చోట్ల కూడా భారీ ఎత్తున బీసీలకు రావాల్సిన వాటా వచ్చే విధంగా కృషి చేయాలని కోరుకుంటూ, ఇంత మంచి ప్లాట్ఫామ్ మీద మాట్లాడే అవకాశాన్ని నాకు కల్పించిన మరి పెద్దలు ఆల వెంకటేశ్వరరావు గారికి, జంగా కృష్ణమూర్తి గారికి, ఈ కమిటీ పెద్దలందరూ కూడా ప్రత్యేక ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియపరుస్తూ 12వ తారీఖు జరగబోయే కార్యక్రమంలో మరి అందరూ కూడా విరివిగా పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసేసి సక్సెస్ చేయాలని నేను కోరుకుంటూ మరి అందరికి కూడా మరోసారి నమస్కారాలు తెలియపరుస్తాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్.
I invite the special guest of this program, Professor Suraj Mandal ji. He is the grandson of BP Mandal. BP Mandal, as you know, the whole country, the whole world knows. He was the former chief minister, member of parliament, and a great visionary person. Welcome him with a big hand. Sir.
Jai Mandal! Jai Mandal! Jai Mandal! Jai Mandal! Jai Mandal! Jai Mandal! వర్ధిల్లాలి బీసీల ఐక్యత! వర్ధిల్లాలి! జోహార్ జోహార్! జోహార్ జోహార్! జోహార్ జోహార్! జోహార్ జోహార్!
Jai Mandal.
జై మండల్!
I will speak few lines in Hindi also if I am permitted. ये आज जो समारोह और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन है, ये भारत के इतिहास में एक बहुत बड़ा कदम आज लिया जा रहा है और ये गुंटूर शहर में लिया जा रहा है. We are thankful that the mayor of Guntur, Shri Manohar Naidu ji, is present over here and he has made certain declarations. The whole country, backward classes of the entire country is thankful to you, sir. And through you also, and through Janga Krishnamurti ji, to
our beloved Chief Minister, Jagan Reddy Sahab, also this should be communicated that the entire backward classes of this country has expressed their gratitude to Guntur. And I want to take the name of Dr. Ala Venkateshwarlu. Dr. Ala is, we have called him now Phule of India, Phule of Guntur, Phule of Andhra, Mandal of Andhra, and Mandal of India. Because this step is as important as the Lahore Congress resolution and declaration when the country had declared full independence. Today, by holding International Conference on Caste Census, Dr. Ala has made this on the agenda of the entire nation. Bihar government has taken a step in making caste census this time. This step should be taken in all the states. If the center is not ready, it doesn't matter. We know our Honorable Chief Minister Jagan Reddy or even the Chief Minister of Telangana or Stalin Sahab or Bhupesh Baghel Sahab, all these Chief Ministers will certainly take step, and we appeal to them through this conference that caste census should be taken in the whole of country. I don't want to take much time right now because the conference is to begin. But we have Yashu Ratnam sir, also Chairman Sahab, and Shri Justice Viren Singh Yadav, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Shyam Kumarji, and so many other dignitaries are here. I bow before them that we have to write a new history in the country in the form of equality for all. समानता का अधिकार पूरे देश में हो, इसके लिए आज जो स्टेप लिया जा रहा है ये पूरे दुनिया में और पूरे भारत में इसका नाम लिया जाएगा. मैं जानता हूं कि हमारे आला वेंकटेश्वर साहब तेजस्वी यादव जी से भी मिले, उन्होंने अखिलेश यादव जी को भी अपना निमंत्रण दिया है, और भी कई नेता हैं जो भूपेश बघेल साहब के पिताजी भी यहाँ पधार रहे हैं. कैप्टन अजय सिंह यादव ओबीसी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कांग्रेस पार्टी विल आल्सो बी कमिंग, एंड देयर आर मेनी अदर पीपल. बट सर, योर contribution is the most important thing which will be underlined in the history of Guntur, in the history of Andhra Pradesh, in the history of India. And thank you, sir, Mayor Sahab, for your kind presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Justice Rajendra Sachar used to be my guru. We used to sit in Gandhi Peace Foundation, New Delhi, and we used to discuss. When he submitted his report, you will be surprised, the Muslims, especially the Pasmanda Muslims, or the Muslims of this country, are badly represented in government jobs, in resources. We need to know who is repairing our car, who is repairing our tires, who is wiping our house, who is constructing houses, who is working as laborers, who is tilling our land, who is toiling hard in the sun, in the fields. We need to know who are they, what is their caste, if the caste exists, what is their caste? You know, I'm privileged. I had access to many people, and you'll be surprised. I know that there is one Rohini commission to have division within this backward caste reservation, and you will be surprised. They have got lots of extensions. They are getting salary from our tax money, and that commission is working from 2017, and they are working for the division of the OBC reservation, which has no data at all. This is a strange country. India is a strange country. There is one member, Mr. Bajaj. He is at present the ICSSR chairperson. I asked him in IAS Simla, what is the status? He got angry. I said, don't get angry, because your commission is running on my tax money. I am a taxpayer. So don't get angry. You have been assigned a job. You please inform me about that, brief me about that job. He got angry. I said, I damn care. But the thing is that we need to be fearless. We need to be fearless for our rights. We have an intellectual amongst us, Professor Y.C. Simadri. He has been professor in Osmania University. Osmania has been the cradle, or I would say the epicenter of intellectuals of United Andhra and now at present Telangana. He is a fine intellectual who has contributed a lot in the making of the OBC literature. He edited a book by Routledge, one of the best publications in the world, not in the country. He had many essays in that book, which are one of the fine essays, articles, research papers with all evidences. You welcome him. He's such a modest person, but he is such an intellectual that he has delivered a lot. He has done a lot. He has written books in Telugu also. He is a very popular, well-known intellectual and authority on backward caste issues. I welcome you, sir. We welcome you. On behalf of the organizing committee of this conference, we welcome you. Sir will deliver his keynote address. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeep ji. Mayor Garu, Janga Krishnamurthy Garu, Dr. Hala Venkateshwar Garu, Suraj Mandal Garu, friends. I'm in fact expected to speak on OBCs and caste census in relation to democratizing the nation. I begin with quoting K.C. Yadav. Professor K.C. Yadav, when he wrote a book on India's unequal citizens, he said the day the Mandal Commission report was, the implementation was announced in Parliament, that was on August 7th, 1990. He was trying to compare that with the significance that we have as far the Indian independence is concerned. When you look at the independence as a major event in terms of Indian history, in the same lines, in the same equation, we can say that, for OBCs, August 7, 1990 is equally important event as for the independence of the OBCs are concerned. So here, it has assumed this kind of an image. It's because of the fact that, this country did not allow us to come to the surface, though we constitute more than 52%. But the nation and the rulers did not make us come to the forefront. And in fact, in the name of policies, when you look at the policies, we don't figure in the policies. We don't figure in the politics. We don't figure when institutions are made, when nation is made, when the developmental policies are prepared at the national level. We don't exist in this country, though we are more than 50% of the population. And several scholars at the national level, largely from the hegemonic communities, castes, and the dominant castes, mostly the upper castes, nowhere we were mentioned in their writings. They write lots of books on India, but nowhere the OBCs are found in that writing. If you talk to any person outside this country, they think that India is a vegetarian country. Though 95, 98% go for non-vegetarian, only 1%, 2% of the country go for vegetarian. And India is known as a vegetarian country. The kind of lies that were built into the books, that were put into the books, we as OBCs have to expose we as OBCs have to fight with. And I think that fight is already started and it is going on in different shapes and different forms. Another thing I would like to say is that this August 7, 1990, I can say that it is something like the birth of OBCs in this country. First time India came to know that there are OBCs. They have taken birth on 1990, August 7th. In a technical sense, of course, it came into existence only after 1993, after the Supreme Court judgment in 1992 November. That they accepted the commission's report, and as a result of which we find some, though not in equal terms, but some space in terms of institutions, particularly the services. So that means we had to wait for the recognition of the backward classes. We had to wait for almost 46 years of independence. Till 1993, we were not known in this country. Like, in computers, we hide the files. So the rulers have hidden us in the computers and they did not allow us to be seen in front of the viewers. And secondly, when it comes to the education, we had to wait for 61 years till 2008. Because, though it was mentioned in the Constitution, but the rulers did not take cognizance of the reservations, though it was there as Article 15 in terms of socially and educationally backward classes. But it was not talked about, it was not taken into the policy making. Only services they tried to implement. At that point of time, we were only 4.7 at the central level in terms of Group 1 services. And now perhaps, it may be 11% or 13%. And in terms of central universities and also IITs and IIMs, we got an opportunity of getting into that in terms of reservation, or you call that as representation. We got it only in 2008. For 61 years, we had to wait. We had to fight. We have to go around the streets, sacrifice. Several people have sacrificed their lives so that, this aspiration is heard at all over India. Particularly, it will be heard by the political classes. In fact, political classes matter, not the people, because, they matter in terms of making the policy. But when it comes to the EWS, first day they announce it, second day, first day Rajya Sabha passes the bill, second day Lok Sabha passes the bill first day, second day Rajya Sabha passes the bill, and immediately the President of India will give an assent to that without any commission's inquiry. Though we had series of commissions. There was first backward class commission. Subsequent to that, the government of India headed by Congress did not implement that first backward class commission. They almost rejected. They in fact said that, let the states examine, and if they think, OBCs can be given some kind of an upliftment, they can do so, but not at the central level. They argued at that point of time that, if you bring in OBCs into the state making, it's going to be a people of second class citizens. With them, we cannot build this PSUs, public sector undertakings. That was the idea, that was the discussion that went on in terms of the Nehru government. They thought that, we are second class citizens in this country. So with second class citizens, they can't build this nation. They even said that, inefficiency will creep into the system. They said that, they will destroy the merit. They don't have merit. They can't afford to be part of this state institutions or state making. They even said that, casteism will crop up in this country if we enter into that system. If BCs come into the state government, in the governmental structures, casteism will emerge. And we have heard how Dr. Sandeepji has said, how the whole central institutions have got casteized. He did not use this word, but I dare to say that, it is bloody casteized. Every institution got casteized, be it parliament, executive, administration, Even in terms of judiciary, we hardly find space in terms of judiciary. And if you look at the development, the economy, the whole economy got into the hands of one or two communities, and now we see how this whole economy is toggled around two corporates. And what is happening at the national level, we all know about it. The media or the corporate boards, every segment you take, it is not only institutions got castrated, even the consciousness is castrated. Everything that comes through the media is a caste manufactured consciousness, or the campaign or the information, and we all should be aware of that. You know, we don't figure in that at all. We don't even try to see whether our people are there in those TV channels or in the newsprints or in the cinema. We don't even try to see whether a OBC is there, whether there is a role for the OBCs, or whether the life of the OBCs is reflected or the struggles of the OBCs are reflected. Nowhere the backward classes are talked about. This is the kind of scenario that we have in this country. This is the idea of India. It is a casteized India, though Marxists may speak in terms of classized, though they may speak in terms of class, but it is essentially rooted in the caste, and it is caste and class, and that has given rise to this kind of a nation, this kind of a nation that is built. It is totally a paralytical kind of process that has gone into. It is not really, they did not bring in the energies of the people across the nation and build the nation. That is the kind of scenario we have. B.P. Mandalji, in fact, he said in his report that, you know, Government of India should conduct the census. There was a recommendation from the commission, Mandal Commission report. Earlier to that, there was also a recommendation from the first backward class commission, Kaka Kalalkar's commission. Kaka Kalalkar commission said, don't even wait till 1961, though it was headed by a Brahmin, a Gandhian, but the commission said that, you know, don't even wait till 61, because every 10-year census normally takes place in this country, which started sometime in 1872, and subsequently it was in 1881, 91, and 2001, and like that, you know, for every decennial census has been taking place in this country. So don't wait till 61, because, you know, there is so much of urgency for the census. Without that, you know, what do you do in the planning commission? How do you allocate the budget? Where do you identify the talent? Where do you see which are the skills that are available? In fact, the whole talent is available among the backward classes, among the Dalits, in terms of manufacturing, in terms of cottage industry, in terms of culture. You speak the area, it is contributed by the back. In terms of production, it is contributed by the engineering, medicine. Everything historical has been contributed by the backward classes, and because of which, you know, whatever wealth that we talk at the national level is because of backward classes. It is our labor, it is our sweat, it is our lives which has made this country known. It is not because of some small segment which is parasitic in nature, thriving on the labor of the backward classes and the Dalits. So that, I think, perhaps we need to look at. So caste census demand has been there. And caste census, we had it till 1931. And in 1941 also they collected census, caste census. They did not publish it, that's a different story. But in 1951, they took a conscious decision that, you know, caste census should not be taken up in this country. And that decision was taken by the Congress government headed by Nehruji. And the debate has been going on. In 80s, I as a university student and also a teacher there, I used to listen, read, and participate in meetings and discussion. Every time whenever census is to come up, let us say 2 years before or something like that, there used to be seminars, discussions, writings, and so many such things. And we see the dominant, the professors from the dominant caste or the upper caste used to campaign that, you know, census should not take up the caste census. It's because, you know, that may produce caste conflict, caste war. They even said, they used the word like, you know, it may give rise to a caste war. Let there be a study by the private individuals, private institutions, but not at the all India level, that kind of a position they were taking up. Whether you talk, M.N. Srinivas, who was a known sociologist at all India level, or there was one Delhi professor in sociology, French, Andre Bete. Andre Bete said that, it's a retrograde step and let us not get into it. He was rightly answered by Gail Omweth, and she said that, this is a country of castes and communities. Other day I was listening to Ravi Verma Kumar from Karnataka, who was a very known constitutionalist and advocate general over there. And he was saying that it is not only the union of states, it is also a union of castes. India is a union of castes. India, everywhere you find it is constituted by castes and communities. And till that time, these professors were studying caste, but when it came up in front of the census, they tried to negate it, oppose it, and say that it is a retrograde step. It might contribute for the casteism in this country. So that was the position. That there was, whenever you talk about, particularly we have seen how Mandal movement has shown us the real face of this country. Till that day, we thought that, progressives they are there for us, Marxists are there for us, or the nationalists they are working for us, or the right-wingers are working for. None of them were looking at us. They were only trying to make use of that. And during Mandal Revolution, it's a Mandal Revolution. I wrote a book, something like Mandal Movement, but I feel that, it is not even a movement, it's a Viplom, it's a revolution. It's not Ujjamam, but it's a Viplom, because it has shown the face of this country, how casteized the intelligentsia in this country, and how the institutions have been casteized, and how politics got casteized. And you can see a line is drawn vertically. One side the dominant and upper caste, and the other side the backward classes, Dalits, and other associated with them, and arguing the merits or demerits or whatever. And that fight went on, and that really opened the eyes of the backward classes. Though many backward classes were going with the dominant caste, arguing against themselves. They did not know that, Mandal Commission report or the Backward Class Commission report was meant for the upliftment of the backward classes. Constitution has given a provision in Article 340 that, Commission has to get into the people, has to investigate, study the conditions of the people, and also the difficulties that they come across, and come with the recommendations. And based on those recommendations, government needs to take up the steps so that, they can be uplifted. And first, in terms of the mandate that was given to Mandal, the first thing was that, you first identify who are the OBCs. That was a big debate in this country. That was a big debate. It's because since 1946, first time on December 13, when the objective resolution was unanimously moved in the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly, and it was moved by Nehru and accepted by the Constituent Assembly. And in that assembly, Nehru or the Constituent Assembly promised that, adequate protections will be given to minorities, tribal areas, Dalits, tribes, and backward classes. He promised in front of this country, he said that it is not only a resolution, he said it is a declaration. It's an undertaking. It's a pledge. They promised in front of this nation, in front of the backward classes, saying that, we are going to give you adequate protections. And the same Nehru government, it is a constitution is the foundation for the governance of the country. None of the people who take pledge on constitution speak in terms of implementing the spirit and the purpose of the constitution, or the very foundation of the constitution that is given to us given to us by the people as it is mentioned in that constitution. Though they are there, nobody talks about the constitution. Even we as educated, we never even bother about what is written in the constitution. What is that, constitution is talking about? Is there a space for the backward class in the constitution? We never even try to understand whether the constitution is meant for us. Our constitution exists. Our constitution is the basis for the governance of this country and where the government is bound to go by the constitution. If we were to know that, governments wouldn't have been so casual, careless about the castes and communities in this country. We also did not know much about the implications of the constitution. Constitution is meant for anti-caste, is meant for building a casteless society. It is meant for building even a classless society. Constitution says there should not be a concentration of wealth. Our people did not talk much about the constitution. There are a number of provisions which speak about the socially and educationally backward classes people. There is a mention about the adequacy, inadequacy in terms of the services. There are series of debates that have taken place around that. When this OBC question cropped up in the Constituent Assembly, and when Ambedkar introduced that, the whole Constituent Assembly was standing against, what is this? You said, there should be reservation for the SCs and STs. They even opposed that in the Constituent Assembly. They were opposed, but when Ambedkar ji insisted that, it is part of the Pune Pact, it is part of the Ambedkar and Gandhi Pact that took place in terms of Pune, and there is a reservation for the, in fact, he was asking for separate electorate, not for the reservation, but he agreed. He came down and agreed and went in for this reservation, and the same thing is brought in terms of the Constituent Assembly, and the entire Constituent Assembly was opposing it. And Constituent Assembly agreed lastly that, okay, we'll give reservations to the SCs and STs. And when he introduced for the OBCs, then again they stood up and said, what is this? You are now talking about the OBCs. We have already given to SCs. No, this will not happen. Who are these OBCs? How do you define OBCs? There was a big debate in the Constituent Assembly. You can't define it the OBCs. It's going to be a big heaven for the lawyers in the courts, in the sense that, it's going to be a big matter in resolving this in front of the courts, and it will not happen. That was the position that they took, and ultimately that did happen, in fact, Though there were commissions, series of commissions that have been brought up in this country, most of the commissions have been rejected, have been struck down by the courts. Courts did not approve. Of course, Ambedkar stood by that and said, Nehru himself used this word OBC. You look at the Constituent Assembly resolution, objective resolution. In objective resolution, he specifically used the word other backward classes. So I am using the same word here, and he pushed it and made that as an Article 16.4, Article 16.4. Subsequently, when it came up for the education, it has become an article for the Article 15.4. So that was the resistance right from the beginning. If you talk about OBCs, the so-called educated intelligentsia, intellectuals or scholars or whatever words that we assign to them, they are so much hesitant. They don't even like to see you. If they come to know that you are a backward class person, they hesitate to look at you. They don't see your merit. They don't see your position. Even if you are I don't know whether I can say this or not. Justice M.N. Rao. Justice M.N. Rao was Chief Justice of Himachal Pradesh High Court, Himachal Pradesh. He used to tell me that, the Chief Justice in AP High Court used to say, Are Kumaran Court lens or Zulpara. Judge is there sitting in that High Court, and this Chief Justice tells his people that, Kumaran Court lens or Zulpara. He is not seen as a judge. You are not seen as an officer. You are not seen as a leader. You are not seen as a professor. You are not seen as a man with some merit and scholarship. You are never respected. As Dr. Sandeepji said, you don't have ambience. We don't even look like the fatty kind of personality, where we don't reflect the fatty nature in our personality or the exhibition that is expected of it by this society. We don't have that. So that's how we are looked down upon. We are not cared for. We are like ants. We are like insects. We are not even like human beings. We don't even exist. And only for the sake of their power, they make use of that, and that's how, they go ahead performing in the name of the governance. So when it comes to this question of this caste census, this OBC, the Mandal Commission, it exposed the country and said, you are no more a progressive. You are like any other casteist in this country because you don't recognize caste. You only say in terms of class, but promote your own caste. You promote your own caste, and you introduce a new language, which is flowery, which is attracting the every segment, but in fact it serves only purposes of only small segment of this society. So the debate went on, and even in the 90s, because of Janata Dal, many socialists were there in the Janata Dal. They in fact passed a resolution by the cabinet that caste should be taken up in the 2001 census. But immediately in 1999, BJP came to the power, and Advani said, nothing doing, we are not going to implement this caste census. They rejected. And once again in 2011, when census was to be taken up in 2010, there was unanimity. Every party accepted, including BJP. Every party accepted that caste census should be taken up in 2011. Decision was taken in the parliament. Prime Minister announced that. But suddenly, other version comes up and says that, no, the census commissioner says it is not feasible. Time is not sufficient. We cannot do it. And ultimately, Pranab Mukherjee says that, it will be taken up in terms of socio-economic caste census, which does not have much of a credibility as we find it in terms of census organization at the national level, because it's a constitutional mandated institution. Census, social and economic caste census was conducted. The results were given, and BJP says that there are a number of mistakes in that, and this commission identified 46 lakh castes. Just because there is a change of letter, there is a change of, and people use the subcaste, gotra, several other things, and because of that, he multiplied it and put it as 46 lakhs of castes, and there is a lot of inconsistency in that. And one report says that 99% of the castes that they mentioned had only 100, less than 100 people. They don't even, they can be kept aside and looked at the caste. But when the parliamentary committee talked to those registrar, and registrar said, this is a perfect, it's a good survey, and there may be some 0.5 error, and that can be ignored, and you can accept this. But subsequently, BJP said nothing doing. This cannot be accepted. In 2018, before the elections, 2009 elections, that man, defense minister, at that time he was the home minister, Rajnath Singh said, yes, we are going to conduct the caste census. After the elections, when Supreme Court asked them to submit an affidavit in case related to the Maharashtra went to the Supreme Court and asked the Supreme Court that, the caste census, OBC census needed to be conducted. And the BJP mentioned that caste census cannot be conducted. It's because of the fact that there is a lot of, it is quite infeasible. It's not possible. Secondly, administratively very difficult. It's cumbersome, and it may even bring in the credibility of the very census data itself, because it may be influenced by the people or the groups who are interested in promoting themselves in terms of demanding for welfare or development or any such matter, or the power or share or whatever it is. They said no, it cannot be done. And they said when they are asked, okay, but how are you conducting census for the SCs and STs? There is a census for SCs and STs. SCs and STs, the data is there. Even the religious census is also there in the census right from 1881 onwards. And they say that, there is a constitutional mandate. Who says? BJP says in front of the Supreme Court that, there is a constitutional mandate. Then Ravi Varma Kumar, when he is arguing, don't we have a constitutional mandate for the OBCs? Article 15(4), when it is talking about social and educational backward classes. How do you identify the social and educational backward classes? And ultimately it was identified the caste. And though the Congress said that, we asked them to identify backward classes, they identified backward castes. Congress was taking this stand. We asked the Commission to identify backward classes, not castes. But in 1968, when Vanchu, Chief Justice of Supreme Court, he took a stand and he said that, when in the context of India, when the caste suffice the need of a definition of the criteria of the class, caste can also be considered as class. So therefore, these backward castes can be backward classes in 1968. That was the judgment came from the Supreme Court. Castes can be classes. And as a result of which for AP, we got Backward Classes Commission, Antraman Commission. We, both Andhra State and also Telangana, we were part of United Andhra Pradesh. We got that, and because of which we had the reservation since 72 onwards in this state. But the state which had reservations for the backward classes since 72 could not play a major role in terms of politics in this state. But states which did not get even that kind of a facility till 80s, they played a big role and they could challenge and come to power in the state. That's another story that perhaps we will be discussing it. So caste census, even in terms of 243D, if I remember rightly, 243D, when it is talking about Panchayat Raj institutions, Constitution gave a provision that, when it was implemented in terms of appointing the Backward Classes Commission, it said that, backward classes, they mentioned, and needed to be identified, and it is possible identifying only when you have an adequate information about the caste census. And even 243T, which was talking about municipalities, also spoke the same thing. And in 1996, there was a Supreme Court judgment that, UP versus something from UP, Anurag Pratap Singh or some such thing. They mentioned, they said that, yes, states can conduct the caste census. Our people argue, those who oppose the caste census argue that, it's a central government which is authorized to conduct the caste census. It is not the state governments. But there is a Supreme Court judgment which says that, caste census can be conducted in 1996 itself. So we have a constitutional mandate even for the backward classes, but BJP doesn't want to read that as a constitutional mandate. They try to ignore it and say that, only SCs and STs have, because of the 341 and 342, they have the constitutional mandate, and we are going ahead with where we are conducting caste census. When you are conducting caste census for SCs and STs, don't you see the similar questions that crop up when you are talking about the OBCs? Like, in terms of merit, in terms of efficiency, in terms of casteism in the systems, or caste conflict, nothing of that sort had happened. It's only BJP is averse towards backward classes. We look like ants, we look like insects, we look like flies, we look like anything which is looked down upon. That is the scenario in this country. Unfortunately, backward classes have not been realizing what has been happening in that. And there is another, when they are talking about the casteism, in fact, because of the caste census, there is a book by Dirks on Caste of Mind. Yes, Dirks. He wrote and he said that, in this country from 1880 to 1930, several caste associations have cropped up. And we know what's happened in our area in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana or Andhra. Several castes, particularly in 1910, Kama Association, Kama Mahasabha has been formed. 1914, Reddy Mahasabha has been formed. Velama Mahasabha has been formed. And because of this caste associations, they have seen the elite of the caste, or the intellectuals, or people who can foresee, visualize the future. They saw that, in the name of British modernization, or the development of institutions, infrastructure, and the modern nation coming in a big way, there are plenty of opportunities coming in. And they thought that, we should get into the caste, identify the talent, get them educated, and try to accommodate them in institutions. And that's how many of these castes could come forward, particularly 2-3 castes could come forward. And they saw to that every institution got accommodated into the state making. And we have seen the Justice Party in 1916 and 1917, they, in Tamil Nadu, they said, in Madras, they said that, we are also educated. How is it that, all institutions are packed with only one caste? Whether be it lawyers or doctors or revenue officials or police people, or even in terms of the Congress movement, the committees that they constituted, everyone is invariably from the one caste, and that should not happen. And that perhaps, that has been taken forward by the DK, the Dravida movement. And in 1921, they introduced a reservation policy, and reservation for all, including Brahmins, including landed communities, everyone. In terms of number, it may be varying. Brahmin, though they constitute 2-3%, but they were given about 17% reservation. So, like that, reservation was given into 1921. And 1902, we all know that, Shahu Maharaj, because of him, we got reservations, 50% of non-Brahmin reservation in this country. And it went on, And when the reservation was given for Tamil Nadu, and Supreme Court has struck down, and as a result of which, the first amendment of the Constitution took place before the Constitution of the Parliament itself. In 1951 itself, the first amendment said, that is the first amendment that speaks about the 15(4), in terms of social and educational backwardness. So they could fight and see that, a layer within the Shudras, the dominant layer within the Shudras, could get into the system, and it has given rise to some kind of a democratization of public space, that I would like to say. Earlier it was completely monopolized by one single caste. Brahminization of the public institution was taking place earlier. And because of the assertions in the south, particularly from the dominant Shudras, the landed Shudras, when they started asserting, they could find some space, and they also could capture the institutions. So in that sense, pluralizing the system, bringing in more communities into the system could be seen as democratizing the society or democratizing the polity. But unfortunately, those who have come in the name of fighting the casteization turned into casteizing at second layer, and they tried to obstruct us. They did not allow us to move forward, and thereby, we also could not really compete in terms of in several areas. But on 1950, January 26, when the Constitution was, the Republic was declared, on the same day, there was an All India Backward Class Federation was constituted. All India Backward Class Federation was constituted, and it was chaired by Punjab Rao Deshmukh, who got educated in England, who was a highly educated person from Maratha community. He was arguing in the Constituent Assembly that there should be a proportionate reservation for all castes and communities. He argued for proportionate reservation. They were not even willing to give reservation. They were not willing to even recognize that there is something called OBC. They were refusing to recognize the existence of the OBCs. But in that context, they formed this All India Backward Classes Federation. Later, Brahma Prakash Chaudhary, or Chaudhary Brahma Prakash Yadav, who was the Chief Minister of Delhi, who became Chief Minister at the age of 33, he took over, he led that Backward Classes Federation. He campaigned across the country. There was another person from Bihar, R.L. Chandapuri, who turned out to be a socialist later. He was from Kurmi, he is from Yadav, they were campaigning. Even the communities were saying that, Pichara Jagao, Pichara jagao, desh bachao. Save the nation. Awaken the backward classes. Pichara, pichda is backward class. Awaken the backward classes to save the country. Even that slogan applies even today, even now. If you don't give them awareness, if you don't jagana, if you are not able to do that, then this country is going to be broken. A book was written by one Mr. Ashoka Modi. He said that, India is broken. The title of the book is India is Broken. He is a professor of Princeton. He said that, Nehru did not focus on the primary education. There was a need for universalization of education in this country. Any country which could come forward internationally, do well internationally, they could achieve the universalization of education. Japan, it achieved the universalization of education in 1920 itself. Korea by Taiwan by 1940. Korea by 1960. Subsequently, China could also attain the universalization of education. Those countries which had the universalization of women education, in the sense that, it is the universalization of education. And those countries who did that, and they could excel well, and they could become the economic powers internationally. They could perform so well at the international level. And that did not happen in this country. Though it was mentioned that, by 1960, we were to... Sir, మీరు మాట్లాడవేలండి sir. I'm sorry, I'm exceeding my... Though we had this universalization of education and promised that, elementary education by 1960, India had to attain universalization of education. Till this day, we have not achieved this universalization of education. It's a shame. It's a shame on right from the first government to the today's government. Even today's government in Delhi is not bothered about education. They're averse towards education. They don't even like to give education to us, as they mention in their scriptures or Manu or whatever, Manuadi or whatever, all that. They are, I don't know how they are seen as rulers in this country, unfortunately. What is happening to our minds and what is happening to our existence and consciousness, we really don't know. We are failing. We are not able to take the matters across. We are not able to take it to the people and say, this is what is happening. They are not getting it, and because of they are carried away by Har Har Modi, Gar Gar Modi. That is not the thing, that signifies the failure of all of us. We have failed, and we needed to really take inspiration from people like B.P. Mandal and several other people. So that is the failure. And second failure, I think we need to address this. Though this country is a country of castes and communities with lot of skills in terms of cottage industry, they never bothered to focus on the cottage industry, developing or modernizing the cottage industry in this country. Rather, they tried to bring in big industry in the name of PSUs, public sector undertakings. Who will be appointed there in public sector undertakings? Those who got the education, generations of education, could get into the public sector undertakings. We can't go closer to the gates of these public sector undertakings. We can't even see, they are like, palaces, and it's very difficult for us to imagine the kind of technology and he was trying to bring in. So on the one hand, he was preventing us education. On the other hand, development model is perfectly catering to the needs of the dominant caste, which we never try to understand what the Nehru model was, all that. And today, Modi government in front of Supreme Court says it's a conscious decision that was taken in 1951 not to take up the caste census. It's a conscious decision from 51 till this day, so we are going to continue that kind of a policy. So Nehru and Modi both are same. Though Modi tries to speak against Nehru, that is all irrelevant kind of thing. They are one because, they get content, inspiration, guidance, everything from the one segment that is in the below, and one may be seen as a moderate and the other may be seen as an extremist. That's a different story, but they are all one in terms of drawing their ideological framework from the people. So, in terms of development model and the way they try to negate the OBC identity, though it was recommended by the first backward class commission, that was rejected in second backward class commission. Even Morarji Desai ji, when Janata Party went with a manifesto that, we are going to implement the first backward class commission. And when some of the socialist leaders went and talked to him, see, we promised in our manifesto, how is it that, we are not implementing the first backward class commission? And Morarji Desai ji said, because he came from the Congress framework and ideological framework, he said, no, that was, the study was done in 1953 to 55, about 20 years back, 25 years back, the study was done. Now it has become almost irrelevant. Let's go for a new commission. So because of that, BP Mandal was appointed as the chairman of the Backward Class Commission in 1978 at the end, and it started working in the beginning of 1979, submitted the report in 1980. And when the report was to be debated in the parliament, Indiraji kept it in the almara and did not speak about it. At the most, she said that, okay, we will constitute a committee to review it. And in fact, Indira Gandhi told Shiv Shankar ji that, you will be heading the committee. And when he saw the committee that was released, the chairman was P.V. Narasimha Rao, he was made the vice chairman. And that committee never convened a meeting. They did not discuss about it. And that went on till once again this Janata Dal government could come back. And Rajiv Gandhi also did not respond to that. But when Janata Dal government came, recently an article was written by Sharad Yadav ji in Shudra book. There is a book on Shudra edited by Kancha Ilaya. He said, there was a threat from Devilal. On August 9th, they were going to hold one major rally in Ramlila Maidan. And VP Singh was scared that, his PMship may be pulled down. And he calls Sharad Yadav ji, and Sharad Yadav, I think it was on August 4, I believe, 4. He goes to him and he says, see, you have been arguing for the implementation of Mandal Commission report. I'll do it. I'll implement the Mandal Commission report on August 15th. That's what VP Singh said. I'll implement, but you should not attend the Devilal's meeting or Devilal and Kanshiram meeting. Then Sharad Yadav told him, I will not attend that meeting with the condition that if you implement Mandal Commission report before that meeting itself. 9th was the meeting. If you implement that before the August 9th, then I will not go. If you stick to that and say I will implement it on August 15th, I am going to attend that meeting. In fact, one of our interactions with Sharad Yadav said, see, we have 69 MPs who are with us. Who is this VP Singh? He was saying, who is this VP Singh? That was the kind of confidence he was showing when he was in Hyderabad when we met as teachers and we went and met him. So agreed, VP Singh agreed. Then ultimately, of course, cabinet meeting and then opposition information, and subsequently on 7th, it was announced. When it was announced, though there are 40 recommendations and only one recommendation he accepted, and he said that we are going to implement the recommendations in terms of services, reservations in terms of services. How about the other 39 recommendations? Nobody talked about it. Though socialists tried to pursue and say that, even Mulayam Singh, you went and said, there are 40 recommendations. How come you are only confining to the one recommendation? So subsequently, of course, through Congress, through Arjun Singh, one more recommendation was accepted and two recommendations. But though they said that they accept the recommendations, in terms of implementation, lots of hurdles we confront with. Recently, when I have seen Dr. Alaji, when he was trying to fight for this NEET thing, for 4 years, they did not implement reservation in OBC reservation in NEET examination, they did not implement. And thereby we lost almost about 10,000, more than 10,000 admissions in MBBS and PG courses. We lost, OBCs have lost. So many doctors, our boys or girls would have become so many doctors. And recently, they said, yes, we are implementing the OBC reservation in it. BJP said it. What did they do? We were to get about 2069, I believe. I may be little error here and there, but 2069. And out of 2069 were to come to the OBCs. 2063 OBCs got in the open. 2063 people got in open. And that BJP government says this open is against the BC reservation. Supreme Court says that, if you get in open, you have to take, you should not consider that as open, but the other OBC should be brought and that should be filled. Another 2063 should have been filled by the BJP government, but they did not fill it. They only filled 6. And BJP says, we implemented OBC reservation. So many lies, lies after lies. This government is surviving with the lies at the national level. That is one major big problem. Then I want to say at the end, a couple of things that, OBCs got power. OBCs got power in 3 states. One is Tamil Nadu, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. OBCs got power in 3 states. Tamil Nadu, the OBCs got power, it was because of Dravida movement. Let us try to acknowledge that. Dravida movement politicized the caste. They took up the non-Brahmin and anti-Brahmin kind of a campaign and went on and then campaigned, mobilized and saw to it that, they could come to the power and implement things that the OBCs needed. Because of Dravida movement. And then another movement, that is socialist movement. We should also acknowledge the fact that, because of socialist movement, Bihar and UP, OBCs have come to the power. Because of socialist movement. Why this has happened? It's because socialists have taken a stand that, non-Congressism was the main plank in terms of socialist campaign. That was one thing. And secondly, in 50s itself, when the National Backward Class Commission, All India Backward Class Federation has been campaigning for the Backward Class Commission, socialists have come up with a slogan in 1951. They have come up with a slogan. They said that, Pichide Pave Saume Sat. Sansopane Bandigat, Pichide Pave Saume Sat. Samajwadis are committed to Pichide Pave. Backwards should be given 60 out of 100. So reservation campaign in terms of political party. No other political party at that point of time. Of course, annihilation of caste movement was there in terms of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, which we all have to acknowledge. Anti-caste movement was there as part of Ambedkar's movement. And as part of Lohia socialism, Lohia socialists, because they were also fighting not only against the class inequalities, they also fight against the caste inequalities and men-women inequalities. And as a result of which, this has become a main slogan, and non-Congressism and this slogan together contributed for the backward empowerment, and as a result of which UP and Bihar could have chief minister. BP Mandal could become chief minister in 1968, and subsequently even in 77 Ram Naresh Yadav could become the chief minister in Uttar Pradesh because of the socialist politics, and subsequently whether it is Lalu Prasad Yadav or Mulayam Singh Yadav or Akhilesh Yadav, all these could become chief ministers. It was only because of the fact that, this was the stand socialists have taken. The socialists, through the socialism, through the Lohia socialist movement, backward classes come to power. Through the Dravidian movement, backward classes come to the power. Through the anti-caste Dr. Ambedkar's movement, Bahujans could also come to the political power. Mile Mulayam Kanchi Ram, Hawa mein ud gaya Jai Shri Ram. That was the kind of slogan through which in 93 the SP, BSP could come to the power. So when we lost the gravity of the slogans and the content that is associated with it, when we lost cognizance of that, we also lost power to the right-wingers through, I don't like to take the party's name, but because of one or two people, BJP could once again come back, and there was Mandal versus Kamandal kind of a thing, and that went on, and they had the edge over all other, and they could capture India, and today we are in a very, very, very serious crisis. All institutions are getting collapsed. There is no constitutionality. You talk about CBI, you talk about Election Commission, you talk about even the Supreme Court. Supreme Court judges are saying that, I don't have security. That is the kind of scenario we got into, and everywhere a surveillance, and I don't know where are we heading to, that kind of a scenario we are in. So lastly, I want to say that, the same thing that Dr. Sandeepji said, that, all institutions got casteized. Even the government has become a caste institution at all India level. Unfortunately, we all should try to understand this. Governments, parties are caste associations. In this country, parties have become caste associations. Only the caste that heads the party will have power and position and finances, everything. But others, they are only, for the sake of the position, they are there, but it is not the real power that is given to them. So, BJP or the Congress, both together were arguing that, if BCs are brought into this system, casteism will become a big issue in the state system, because, caste is handled by the state. On the one hand, caste is handled by the society. And BP Mandal, in his first resolution, in his first recommendation, he says that, it is not backwardness because of poverty, it is social backwardness and also the poverty there because of the caste in this country. Because of caste, we are socially backward. Because of caste, we suffer the economic backwardness or the poverty. And no political party talks about it. Political parties talk about poverty. They don't even try to eliminate or eradicate it. They don't even talk about the social backwardness. They're scared of talking about social backwardness. They're scared of talking about OBCs. Congress even now at the national can't even talk about OBCs. They can't even talk in terms of Shudras. I'm happy that, UP is coming up with a new movement called, Shudras. Garu se kaho hum Shudra hai. Garu se kaho hum Shudra hai. It may not equally applicable as far our scenarios are concerned in South India. It's because there is some kind of a mix. We can say Shudra, OBC, Dalit. Shudra means OBC and Dalit. In our places, there it is only Shudra, where OBCs and Dalits put together form part of the show. Jai Shudra kind of a slogan that is taking place. And some social media channels say that, wave is being created in UP, and it is being talked even at the corners of the towns and cities and even in the villages, and we don't even know. That may emerge as a big movement at the All India level to negate, to stop this oppressive, inhuman, anti-people kind of a right-wingers that this country is ruled by. So we need to power. That's what BP Mandal said. We need to power education, employment, enterprise. Education, employment, enterprise, power, you will automatically get it. So these are the four parameters that, though of course structural changes he also talked about, which is essentially needed for addressing this caste question. That's Mandal Commission gives us lot of, it's a beautifully written report. I think we all should read that report. We get lot of insights in that report, because he has tried so well that, he roped in top institutions in this country, Tata Institute of Social Sciences. He also brought in professors from JNU, professors from Calcutta University. Later, of course, they turned hostile. That's a different story. But, even Statistical Organization of India, it was a perfectly written document. In fact, he wanted to recommend 52% recommendation, 52% reservation. But because there were judgments, in 1963, Gajendra Gadkar judgment is there that, it should not be more than 50% ceiling. Now, because BWS, it is flexible. When it comes to them, it is flexible. When it comes to us, it is rigid. Ceiling cannot be, you cannot hit the ceiling. That is the dual policy that is going on in this country. So lastly, I say that, I quote BP Mandal, that a battle, he uses this word, this thing, a battle against social backwardness. A battle against social backwardness is to be fought. Is to be fought where? Is to be fought in the minds of backward classes. Thank you.
Mandal Commission's report says clearly that there can't be equality among the unequals. So, Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar said caste is a dehumanizing institution. See, he gives the example of 4-storied building and he says that wherever you are born, you are locked there. See, you may win many gold medals, you may be a scientist, you may be a very good intellectual, anything you become, but your caste never leaves you. So that is the problem of this country. Kabir said that, see, Kabir talks about touchability and untouchability. He says that untouchable people are the superior people. Because, see, in this world, the person, only the person is untouchable whom the Maya has not been able to touch. He says that we are born from the place where we are all born from the same place where the human beings come out. So he says that how can we be touchable and untouchable? Only that person whom the Maya has not touched, who is beyond Maya, is untouchable, and therefore he is superior than anybody else in this world. These are the words of Kabir. Raidas said this. Raidas says that जाति जाति में जात है जो के तन के पात रायदास मानुस ना जुड़ सके जब तक जाति ना जात. See, there is caste within the caste. The OBCs are 5,000 caste. See, the same way like when you try to open the banana's stem, you will get many layers. So the caste is also layer within layer. See, unless we become human, we will not able to connect with each other. That is the words of a great reformist, poet and social reformer, Raidas. His whole, thinking and poetry is all about liberating people. There have been many reformers. And see, Mudiraj, Rajakas, Padmasalis, Gaudas, Vishwakarmas, Yadavas, Kumbhakaras, all these caste people, especially from the backwards, from, this country, they should know that the backwards have a glorious history. Right from Chandragupta Maurya, Asok, Samudragupta, they were all backward kings. Whenever India was under their control, it was a very, it was really a very rich country. When it came under the control of the other, whom they claim the, caretaker of this country, it started deteriorating. All the social reformers, they belong to especially backwards and untouchable community, especially the backwards. Take the example of Kabir, Tukaram, Namdev. Namdev was a tailor. Tukaram was a farmer, Kunbi caste. Kabir was a weaver. So all these people, they were all backwards. Take the example of Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. He is the father figure in Indian history, who initiated the first movement against the untouchability, against the liberation of the, for the liberation of the Sudras. He was from Mali caste. He inspired Sahuji Maharaj, and Sahuji Maharaj of Kolhapur state, began reservation for the Sudras, all the backwards, OBC, SC, STs in 1902. Then Justice Party came into existence in 1916. Sir rightly said, Thiagraj and then Natesan and one Mudaliar. These three people made Justice Party in Tamil Nadu because of 3% Brahmins in Madras presidency were overrepresented. Like 3% Brahmins were having 44% positions in the presidency. They revolted against them. They said that we are also educated, we have equal status, then why are not getting the jobs? They made a party and they won the election in 1921 and they started the quota system in Madras presidency. The third, Mysore state in India was the first state which made Sir Leslie Miller Commission in 1919. For that, what? There also 3 to 4% Brahmins were overrepresented in the Mysore state. So Sir Leslie Miller was the High Court judge of Mysore state. He became the chairperson, and there were 6 other members. They submitted their report, and the king of the Mysore state, Chamaraja Wadiyar, he was from, people say that he's from Yadav community and Arasu community. There is some confusion, but from whatever community he was pro-backwards. And remember, backward means not OBCs, backward means the Dalits, tribals and the present OBCs. He started reservation for them. Sir Leslie Miller's commission submitted its report, reservation began. See, in this country, backwards started the struggle for the representation. Who was? Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, then Sahuji Maharaj, then Madras Presidency, Justice Party, then Periyar took over. Periyar began his career from Congress. He saw the discrimination, left the party in 1925. And later he took charge of Justice Party in 1941. So, this is the glorious history of the backwards. All the poets, all the social reformers, all the thinkers, they belong to backwards community, untouchable community. You have a glorious history, glorious culture, but you have forgotten yourself. You have to be united for your share. You have to be united, the Mudiras, the Rajakas, the Padmasalis, the Yadavs, the Kumbhakars. All these people should get united for their share. You must have proportional representation for the post of DM. DM officers, class 1 officers, class 2 officers, judiciary, culture, bureaucracy, even political reservation was given to us. Bombay Presidency, out of 8 constituencies, 4 constituencies were reserved. Prior to India's freedom, in Madras Presidency, almost 28. Christophe Jafflot writes, he has written an article. I'm not saying all these things. This is not creation of my mind. I have reference for everything. Political reservation was there in Madras Presidency for the backwards, for OBC, SC, ST. We have forgotten all these things. 28 seats out of 67 seats, assembly seats were reserved for the backwards. There is no political reservation for the OBCs. You go to other states, some Orissa, there's 0% reservation for the OBCs. Because we forgot our history. And history is very cruel. History is very cruel. Whosoever teaches social science knows it. History is controlled by the people who control the society. History is always by the side of the people who are in power. History is not with the powerless people. That's why a new debate in history has begun, debate of subaltern history. History, we were the people who were fighting for the freedom of the country. You take the example, Britishers were the people in 1870, 1881, they initiated the caste census. See, they may have done very bad things, but they may have done some good things for the Indian society. In 1881, they initiated the caste census. We were counted till 1941. 1931, caste census was released. 1941 caste census could not be released just because of Second World War. And I tell you one more thing, which we never think over. India got freedom not because of our just freedom fighters. I say they had their contribution. But the Britishers were completely ravaged. They won the war. Not by their efforts only, by the efforts of the Russia, Red Army. They won the war, but they were completely ravaged by Germany. They were not in a position to control their colonies. They took the decision to go back, leave the colonies. And India, that was one of the main reasons. Second World War was one of the reasons India got the freedom. Not only, people were trying. But that is also a reason which people do not highlight. So there are various things, there are many things which we need to look into. But, Congress, Jawaharlal Nehru, Ashok Modi, who has written the book, who taught in Princeton, The Broken India, is right. He didn't invest in the education. The first Home Minister of this country, he suppressed the report of Kaka Kalelkar on the pretext of these two things. He said that if you implement this Kaka Kalelkar's report, there will be mediocrity in the country. The meritorious will suffer and country will not make the progress. I want to ask this question from this forum. Has India made the progress? How many Nobel Awards you have won? How many scientists you have produced who have contributed in the making of the humanity? You have to think over it. How many Martin Luther Kings? How many Abraham Lincolns? How many Malcolm X have you produced? How many liberators have you produced after Jyotiba Phule? See, that is the contribution that we have not been able to, see, Jyotiba Phule has not got Bharat Ratna even. All the ordinary people, even Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he began his career as a leftist, as a communist leader, become a rightist. From left to right. How can? See, I never read Marx, but I was a born leftist because, I abhorred inequality, I abhorred discrimination. Later when I read Marx, I found that he was thinking like me. I didn't found this fact that, I'm thinking on his line. I found that he is thinking like me and, we have this similar thinking. So how can I was surprised when I read this thing that Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a leftist. How can he be poet? Unless you are a humanist, unless you think good for everyone, how can be a good human being? Unless you are a good human being, you can never be a person at all. Thank you very much, friends. I would invite our dear personality, Janga Krishnamurthy, sir. He is an inspiration to us whenever he comes to Delhi. He spares time to meet us, inspire us, and we need personalities like him into politics, into public life. And I invite him, sir, since he is the chairperson, we'll conclude with your blessings. Please come and express your precious words. Thank you.
With your permission, I will speak Telugu. వాస్తవంగా నేను వినటానికి వచ్చాను కానీ మాట్లాడటానికి రాలేదు. తప్పనిసరిగా రెండు మాటలు మాట్లాడాల్సిన అవసరం ఉద్దేశంతో నన్ను వేదిక మీద పిలవటం జరిగింది. We are welcome to all the intellectuals and professors, various states and AP also. ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి అధ్యక్షత వహించినటువంటి కార్యక్రమ సంధానకర్త ప్రొఫెసర్ సందీప్ యాదవ్ గారు, కార్యక్రమ నిర్వాహకులు ఒక మంచి ఆలోచనతో సమాజంలో ఒక మార్పు కోసం తనకున్నటువంటి కాలాన్ని అన్ని విధాలుగా వెచ్చిస్తూ మనలో ఒకటిగా ఈ కార్యక్రమ నిర్వాహకులు డాక్టర్ ఆల వెంకటేశ్వర గారు, ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి విచ్చేసినటువంటి పెద్దలు గౌరవనీయులు యేసరత్నం గారు, అంతేకాకుండా అనేక మంది మేధావులు, లెక్చరర్సు, వివిధ సంఘాల్లో పనిచేస్తున్నటువంటి సామాజిక కార్యకర్తలు, నాయకులకి అందరికీ నా అభినందనలు, కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. ప్రధానంగా ఈ సమావేశం సెన్సెస్ సంబంధించి జనగణన సంబంధించినటువంటి ఏ విధంగా జనగణన చేపట్టాలా, ఏ విధంగా ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రభుత్వాలపై ఒత్తిడి తేవాలనే ఉద్దేశంతో బీపీ మండల్ విగ్రహావిష్కరణ సందర్భంగా ఈ యొక్క సెమినార్లు ఏర్పాటు చేసుకోవడం జరిగింది. పెద్దలు ప్రొఫెసర్ సింహాద్రి గారు చాలా చక్కగా, అంటే మా బోటోళ్ళు ఇంగ్లీష్ పూర్తిగా అర్థం కాదు కాబట్టి కొంత అర్థం కాకపోయినప్పుడు కూడా చాలా చక్కగా వాస్తవాన్ని మొత్తం కూడా బీపీ మండలి యొక్క నివేదిక, బీపీ మండలం యొక్క నివేదికను ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయటంలో జరిగినటువంటి ఆ ఘట్టాలని, ఆ ఆవశ్యకతను చాలా వివరంగా వివరించడం జరిగింది. మీ ముందు నేను అన్ని విషయాలు, ఎందుకంటే తెలుసుకోవాల్సి చాలా ఉన్నాయి. రాజకీయ పరంగా ఏదో ఓ సామాజిక పరంగా కాస్త కోస్త అవకాశాలు వచ్చి ఓ రాజకీయ నాయకుడికి గుర్తింపు వచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా ఈ యొక్క సబ్జెక్ట్స్ మీద ప్రాక్టికల్ కొంత సమాజం పట్ల ఒక అవగాహన, రాజకీయాల పట్ల ఒక అవగాహన, సమాజంలో ఉన్నటువంటి వివక్షత, సమాజంలో ఉన్నటువంటి ఒడిదుడుకుల్ని కాస్త కూస్తో అర్థం చేసుకోగలిగాను. కానీ నేర్చుకోవాల్సింది చాలా ఉంది. ఇటుగా ప్రధానంగా ఇలాంటి సెమినార్లు గతాన్ని గురించి, గతం ద్వారా వర్తమాన భవిష్యత్తు, గతాన్ని నెమరవేసుకుంటూ, వర్తమాన పరిస్థితులు అర్థం చేసుకుంటూ, భవిష్యత్తుకు సంబంధించినటువంటి ఒక కార్యాచరణ రూపొందించుకుంటూ కానీ ఇలాంటి సెమినార్లు చాలా ఉపయోగపడతాయి. ప్రధాని ఇక్కడికి వచ్చినట్టు అందరికి కూడా ఒకటే ఆలోచన, సమాజంలో రాజ్యాంగబద్ధమైనటువంటి హక్కులు పరిరక్షించుకోవాలా, ఈ దేశాన్ని బ్రిటిష్ రవి అస్తమించే సామ్రాజ్యాన్ని ఆ రోజున బ్రిటిష్ సామ్రాజ్యవాదులు పరిపాలించడం జరిగింది. మీకు తెలియని కాదు, భారతదేశంలో ఉన్న కులాలు కానివ్వండి, భారతదేశం విభిన్న సంస్కృతులు, విభిన్న కులాలు, అనేక సాంప్రదాయాలు, వివిధ భౌగోళిక పరిస్థితులు కూడినటువంటి ఈ దేశానికి ఒక రాజ్యాంగాన్ని మనం నిర్మించుకోవడం జరిగింది. రాజ్యాంగాన్ని ఒకటి ఆ రోజు డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ యొక్క నాయకత్వం కింద రాజ్యాంగాన్ని రాసుకోవటం జరిగింది. ఈ దేశానికి స్వతంత్రం వచ్చి 74 సంవత్సరాలు రాజ్యాంగం యొక్క ఉద్దేశాన్ని ఆ రాజ్యాంగం యొక్క ఫలాల్ని ఆ రాజ్యాంగం యొక్క ఉద్దేశాన్ని మనం పొందా లేదనే విషయం కూడా మీకు నేనేదో చెప్పనవసరం లేదు. చాలా సంతోషం. ప్రధానంగా అందరి ఉద్దేశం ఒకటి, సమాజంలో సమాజం నిర్మాణం జరగాల, కులరహితమైనటువంటి సమాజం ఏర్పడాలా, మరి కులాల ప్రాతిపదికమైనటువంటి ఈ సమాజంలో కుల నిర్మూలన జరగటానికి అవకాశం ఉందా లేదా అనే ఆలోచన కూడా మనకు స్ఫురిస్తున్నాయి. తప్పనిసరిగా ఇది అనివార్యం. సమాజ క్రమం మన ఉద్యమాలకు సంబంధించి కానివ్వండి, వాటికి సంబంధించి కూడా కుల నిర్మూలన సరే ఉపన్యాసం వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. ఆలోచన చేయాల్సిన అవసరం కూడా మీ అందరికీ మనవి చేస్తున్నాను. ప్రధానంగా బీపీ మండలం యొక్క విగ్రహావిష్కరణ 12వ తారీఖు వెల్లుండి విగ్రహావిష్కరణ జరగబోతుంది. ప్రధానంగా పీపీ మండలి యొక్క విగ్రహావిష్కరణ సందర్భంగా ఈ ప్రాంత ప్రజలకు కానివ్వండి, మేధావులకు కానివ్వండి, అందరూ ఆలోచించే విషయం, తప్పనిసరిగా ఈ దేశంలో ఒక మరో బీపీ మండల ఉద్యమం నిర్వహించాల్సిన ఆవశ్యకత ఎంతైనా ఉందనే విషయాన్ని కూడా పెద్దలందరూ కూడా గుర్తించడం జరిగింది. అంటే ప్రధానంగా బీపీ మండలి చేస్తున్న సిఫార్సుని ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయాలా, దానితో పాటు కూడా చట్టసభల్లో రిజర్వేషన్స్ సంబంధించినటువంటి అమలు జరపాలా, చట్టసభలో రిజర్వేషన్ సంబంధించినటువంటి ఒక చట్టాన్ని తీసుకురావాలంటే ఒక ఆలోచన, జనగణన సంబంధించి కూడా ఇందాక పెద్దలు మాట్లాడారు. జనగణన సంబంధించి ఆ రోజు బీజేపీ సంబంధించిన ప్రభుత్వం, బీజేపీ ఉన్న పెద్దలు 2010కి సంబంధించి కూడా జనగణన చేపడతా అధికారానికి వచ్చి చెప్పి దాన్ని కూడా తప్పుకునే పరిస్థితి. అంతేకాకుండా ఏబిసిడి అంటే బీసీలకు సంబంధించినటువంటి వాళ్ళు దాదాపుగా ఈ రాష్ట్రానికి సంబంధించి 139 కులాలుగా బీసీలకు సంబంధించిన కులాలు సైతం కూడా వారందరికీ కూడా కలిసి రావాలా, బీసీ ఉద్యమం చేపట్టాలంటే వారి మధ్య ఉన్నటువంటి వ్యత్యాసాలను తొలగించడం కోసం కూడా, ఉన్న అవకాశాలు పొందడం కోసం కూడా వర్గీకరణ కూడా చేపట్టాలని ఒక ఆలోచన కూడా అనేక మంది పెద్దలు కూడా చేయడం దృష్టి కూడా మేము మనవి చేస్తున్నాను. వీటన్నిటి మీద ఈ దేశంలో తప్పనిసరి కూడా బడుగు బలహీన వర్గాలని సంబంధించి వాళ్ళు సమన్వయపరుస్తూ తప్పనిసరి కూడా బీసీ మండలి ఉద్యమాన్ని నిర్వహించాల్సిన ఆవశ్యకత ఎంతైనా ఉందని అందరికీ మాకు, ఎందుకంటే నేను మాట్లాడితే పొలిటికల్గా మాట్లాడే పరిస్థితి వస్తుంది కాబట్టి మేధావులు మీరు మాట్లాడే విషయాల్ని నేను వినాలనే ఆలోచనతో ఇక్కడ రావడం మీ అందరికీ మనవి చేస్తూ, ఒక సామాజిక ఉద్యమాల్లో పనిచేసే మీ అందరికీ కూడా మరొకసారి నా యొక్క ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేస్తూ, మీరు చేసే ప్రతి కార్యక్రమానికి సంబంధించి ఈరోజు డాక్టర్ ఆలా వెంకటేశ్వర గారు ఒక కార్యక్రమాన్ని మొదలుపెట్టారు. ఎందుకంటే మొట్టమొదటి దక్షిణ భారతదేశం సంబంధించి బీపీ మండల విగ్రహాన్ని ఆవిష్కరించుకోవటం, బీపీ మండల విగ్రహాన్ని ఆవిష్కరించుకుంటే కాదు, ఆయన చేసినటువంటి బీసీ వర్గాలు చేసినటువంటి సిఫార్సులకు సంబంధించి కానివ్వండి, ఆయన ఆశయాల్ని ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్లాలన్నటువంటి ఆలోచన చేసినందుకు వారిని మొట్టమొదటిగా అభినందిస్తూ ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి ఇచ్చేసిన మీ అందరికీ, ఎందుకంటే అనేక మంది ఈ రాష్ట్ర పరిస్థితులు ఆలోచిస్తే ఈరోజు 139 కులాలు, నేను ఒకటే మనవి చేస్తున్నాను, బీసీ వర్గాల్లో బీసీ కాన్సెప్ట్ రావాలా, బీసీ కులాలకు కాదు, బీసీ కాన్సెప్ట్ రావాలా, ఆ అవేర్నెస్ రావాలా. అంతేకాకుండా ఇంకోటి కూడా మనవి చేస్తున్నాను, తప్పనిసరి కాస్త కోస్తే ఎదిగినట్టు కులాలకు సంబంధించి కూడా మిగతా కులాలను కూడా కలుపుకొని ముందుకెళ్ళినప్పుడు మాత్రమే మనలో ఐక్యత పెంపొందించడానికి అవకాశం ఉన్న విషయం కూడా నేను ఒకసారి మనవి చేస్తూ, నేను ఎక్కువగా మాట్లాడదలుచుకోలేదు, వినటానికి నేను వచ్చాను కాబట్టి నాకు అవకాశం ఇచ్చినటువంటి సందీప్ గారికి, ఎంతో సుదూర ప్రాంతాన్ని ఇచ్చేసి వారి యొక్క కాలాన్ని వ్యయాన్ని ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి వారి యొక్క సందేశాన్ని ఇచ్చినటువంటి వారందరూ కూడా ఆ హృదయపూర్వక అభినందనలు కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలియజేస్తూ సెలవు తీసుకుంది.
Before I call Professor Sivarama Krishnan sir from Triputtai for vote of thanks, I would like to say two facts. Basically, you must have observed that South is, in comparison to North, is more organized, and North is a bit unorganized, and there is region, political, social, cultural region for that. When socialist parties implemented reservation in North, Ram Naresh Yadav became Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. And the Congress started opposing, and they form a Nara slogan. They said that Ram Naresh Wapas Jao, Wapas Jaake Bhain Charao. Ram Naresh Wapas Jao, Wapas Jaake Bhain Charao. That was the slogan created by Congress people to oppose Ram Naresh Yadav as the chief minister, to degrade his caste. So this was these are the reasons. I'm telling you one reason. These are the things which are responsible for our, suppression, social, cultural, and political. So there are two very important things. Till 1962, Mysore state had almost 59% reservation, not almost, to be exact, 59% reservation for the backwards, like OBC, SC, and ST. 9 students went to the court, and there in a famous judgment, Balaji versus Mysore state. Balaji versus Mysore state, that was turned down, and that was confined only to 50% by giving the pretext of constitution. They said that the reservation can't be above 50%, and they just limited them to 50%. Prior to that, in Mysore, the reservation was 59%. In Tamil Nadu, it was more. And today also in Tamil Nadu, it's 69%. And Jayalalitha, being a Brahmin lady, since she subscribes to the Dravida ideology, she claims to be the follower of C.N. Annadurai and E.V. Ramasamy Periyar, she put it into 9th schedule. And that is beyond legal remedy. She did it in 1994, and Tamil Nadu has 69% reservation in that state. The backwards have 50% reservation, 17% scheduled caste, 1% scheduled tribes in Tamil Nadu. So it is happening. It's up to you. What do you want? If you get united, as Professor Ramakrishnan sir today morning said rightly, if you get united, Baba Sahib Ambedkar said, educate, organize, and agitate. So that is the formula since ages. We have to do that. You have to decide that. And this seminars, I hope the proceedings of the seminar will be helpful in our literature generation, in our, it would, create broader understanding, and it will send a message among the backward caste. And with these words, I invite Professor Ramakrishnan sir. He is a fruit scientist. He is from Tirupati. Please, sir, come for the vote of thanks for this inaugural session. There is one information. Since we, started this program very late, after this inaugural session, we'll have our lunch, and after that, we will have our paper reading session. We have very good papers from three people. There is Professor Adam Palpatetti, be ready, sir, and Professor Prabhanjan Yadav from Telangana University, former Justice Sri Virendra Yadav, sir, and then we have well-known writer from this land, CSR Prasad sir, from retired professor from Hindu College, Guntur. We'll listen to them. Don't go. We'll listen to their, understanding after this lunch. So I invite Professor Sivaramakrishna sir for vote of thanks. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeep Yadavji. పెద్దలు, పూజ్యులు, గౌరవనీయులు, ఇక్కడ ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి ఇచ్చేసినటువంటి అందరికీ నా హృదయపూర్వక ఆహ్వానము. సమయపాలన పాటించాల్సి వచ్చిన టైం వచ్చింది కాబట్టి మనం ఇక ఈ కార్యక్రమాన్ని ముగించి మనం ఇంకా ఫార్మల్ సెషన్కి వెళ్ళాల్సి ఉంటుంది. బిఫోర్ గోయింగ్ హెడ్, myself, Dr. Vangala Nokanpoyina Sivaramakrishna, feeling more privileged to present formal vote of thanks for this great event on behalf of the organizing committee of this program, which is focused on majorly upliftment of the downtrodden, underprivileged people. So it's a part of the international seminar being held in the great city of Guntur from 10th to the 12th of February 2023. First of all, I would like to express my wholehearted gratitude to Sri K. Manohar Naidu Garu, the mayor of this beautiful Guntur city, for his patience and his presence here and spending his valuable time and inspiring all of us with his nice words. My deepest sense of gratitude to retired DAG Chandagiri Resiyatram Garu, who was with us throughout the program. And it was, thank you so much, sir, for being with us and giving your valuable words to us. And my deepest sense of gratitude to, and it's actually a blessing to all of us, for being Dr. Suraj Mandalji, the professor at Delhi University, and he happened to be the great son of the great personality, and an icon of the OBC community, Sri Mandal Garu, whose bronze statue will be unveiled on 12th February 2020. Thank you. An important person for today's event and the convener of the great function of unveiling the BP Mandal statue, our beloved MLC Garu, Sri Janga Krishnamurthy Garu, is also remembered with a great gratitude towards him for his presence since beginning and inspiring us by always being with us. Thank you so much, sir, Janga Krishnamurthy sir, for your presence, patient listening and being with us throughout this program. And Dr. Ala Venkateswara Garu, you all very well know the man behind this entire program. He is always, even throughout the day, 24 hours a day, he is keep on working. Since 2-3 days, I am also with him. Keep on working. So the great cause of this success program is because of Allah sir. Sir, thank you so much for your efforts and relentless efforts. That word I can use. To make this people enlightened and make this program also more successful. And I don't know previously about Sandeep ji. Really, I was also get inspired with his words. You have got a lot of fire, really. That's a great thing. The people like you are greatly needed for this OBC community and the Bahujan community, I can say, who have been neglected since 75 years after independence. So thank you very much for being with us and taking an active part especially in conducting this 3 days international conference. And I would like to thank Professor S. Simadri Garu for his nice lecture. Sir, it is a really wonderful lecture. It was clearly inspired us. You have given another meaning for your keynote address. That's really inspiring speech you have given us. Thank you so much, sir. And it made us to ponder over the subject as we keep on listening to your lecture. It was that much nice. Thank you. And important guests of today's function like Dr. Shyam Prasad, sir, former Vice Chancellor, AP Horticulture University, and Sri Virendra Yadavji, former Chief Justice, Uttar Pradesh Uttar Pradesh High Court, and Ratan Lalji, and Professor Ratan Lalji for his presence. Really, sir, we are all thankful to you for being with us and make this event a grand success. And my greatest and deepest sense of gratitude to all the media journalists, scribes from the various newspapers for their presence here, and then noting down all the important points. We hope that your inspirational words will go beyond and will make the people more enlightened in the days ahead. And I would like to thank remaining all the participants for their patient listening and also active participation, without whom the successful function would have not happened. I thank all the other participants also in today's function. And my words run short to express thanks or my gratitude for the organizing committee under the headship of the Dr. Ala Venkateswara Garu. Really, they made wonderful efforts, and that, yeah. So whose efforts, relentless efforts made this function a grand success. We are all, as a whole, we are all thankful to the total organizing committee. And I would like to thank, who are the other people, sir? Krishnakant ji, I met in the morning from a professor from BH, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, and then Ratanlal ji, Dharamveer ji, a professor. I would like to thank them also. And last but not least, many people worked along with us since morning. Their efforts also, indeed, with a great gratitude, I would like to thank them. And thank you one and all. And I would like to request all of you to have their lunch, relish the lunch, and again join for the afternoon technical session. Thank you one and all. Lunch is ready. All of you, please join for the lunch. Thank you.
Now we are entering into the first session of this seminar, 3-day seminar. And in a keynote address particularly, a lot of issues were framed before us, and after these 2 days, we are going to find out the solutions for the problems faced before us by the keynote addressee. And some of the participants are raising some doubts. Okay, most of the issues were discussed, most of the problems were discussed in the seminar and inaugural session. We all got through, but now we are expecting a solutions of the problems raised in the first inaugural session. That is the demand from the common participants. So by keeping it in mind, I request all the participants to share some few solutions. What are the challenges before OBCs in the present society, and how to address the challenges before us. That may be the broader concept of our seminar purpose. Then only the purpose of the seminar will be fulfilled. Okay, now I invite Dr. Shyam Prasad, ex-Vice Chancellor, Dr. YSR Paul Pateti, Manu University, Hyderabad, Telangana. And he is going to present the paper on issues related to empowerment of Pasmanda Muslim women in India. Now I request Professor Prabhanjan Yadav from Telangana University. He is going to deliver a lecture on conspiracy and caste census. Now I request retired Justice Virendra Yadav, and he is going to deliver a lecture on subordination of Bahujan majority, origin, sustenance, and possible annihilation. I welcome, sir. Last but not the least, I request Mr. C.S.R. Prasad from Hindu College, Guntur. Mr. C.S.R. Prasad, Hindu College, Guntur. Okay. Okay, whenever he comes, he join with the proceedings. He join with the proceedings. Now I hand over the mic to our beloved Mr. Shyam Prasad. And before I hand over the mic, I would like to share a few words about Mr. Shyam Prasad and his father. Shyam Prasad's father, Dr. Sundaraya, is the well-known personality. Now we are talking about the Bahujan politics and all. Mr. Sundaraya is the man who introduced Bahujan politics to Andhra Pradesh. And he worked along with Mr. Kanshiram. And he was the first president of BSP in Andhra Pradesh. That was the stature, and he is the product of such a great personality. All are doctors in his family, and now it's a privilege to introduce the personalities like Dr. Shyam Prasad. Now I hand over the mic to Mr. Shyam Prasad, Dr. Shyam Prasad. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, without wasting much time, we'll go ahead with the routine work. First, to start with Adam Paul Patter. You are supposed to talk on issues related to empowerment of Pasmandal Muslim women in India. Thank you. Please.
Respected Chair, Dr. Sandeep sir, Dr. Sivaram Prasad sir, and dear colleagues. I am Professor Adam Paul, Professor of Education, Manu, Hyderabad. Very good afternoon to all. Before addressing this topic, issues related to empowering of Pasmanda Muslim women, our government has set the vision goals, that is 2047. Here in the by 2047, we should be in the superpower. So we want to rule the globe. For that, just we'll examine where we are and where we wanted to go, and how to raise the community and how to make our people good. We know there is a society. Now we are in the 5O society. From hunting society, 1O, and 2O is the agrarian society. 3O is industrial society. 4O is ICT or digital communication. Now we are in the S, that is superpower society. In this superpower society, what is the role of women, and especially the OBC communities, what are their educational status, and what is their decision making, where they are in the jobs, all these issues I'm going to discuss in this. So we know as per the statistics of NSSO, the OC population is 30.8, and OBC population is 41.1, SC population is 19.7, ST population is 8.5. See, here we are going to address these issues related to empowering the Pasmanda women in India, with focusing on education, gender discrimination, and decision making. See, the Pasmanda women, Pasmanda means left behind. The Persian language, it is left behind women. So the population of Pasmanda or this community, 13.7 crores, that is the Muslim population out of 139 crores. Here, the country's Muslim population 172 million, 106 million lives in the state union territories, with MLR ranging from low to very low. Muslims are the second largest religious group in India and have a low literacy rate and enrollment in higher education compared to other communities. The constitutional provisions for upliftment of women and their educational status are also analyzed. We know these constitutional provisions from Article 14, 15, 16, and of 25 to 28 minorities, 29 to 30. So these are promoting for the empowering the women, empowering the people, and educational provisions for all marginalized groups. In the gender studies, establishing now the universities across the India, which of course is the result of the efforts, feminist activities, and academics mainstreaming feminist studies. Women of this community are conspicuous by their relative absence. Based on the critical review and empirical research, as well as personal observations of the life experience of Muslim women and the factors contributing to their personal and professional success. The factors that are classified into three sections: the personal level, family, and workplace level. So in the personal level, factors, that is the consciousness, self-regulation, reflection, vision, and the agencies and confidence building and passion. The competencies, that is the religious knowledge, life experiences, skills, and technology. In autonomy, the security acts as a role model. So here in this, the second sector, the family factors, structure of power, the family headship, power distribution, decision making, values, that is the justice, integrity, contribution to the community, life norms, this emotional support, freedom to mobility, exposure to experience. In the workplace, factors, that is the policies, equal rights and opportunities, flexible working hours, cultures, child care service, respect, tolerance, supportive leadership. The morning keynote address, sir, pointed out how to develop these three areas. Sir pointed out the essential needs: the education, employment, and entrepreneur. So these women, as the SHR committee reports that the primary education, secondary education, higher education, the people are below 16%. So here, the need of the hour is, we need to enhance, we need to develop some of the skills in these women, Pasmanda community women. That is the basic communication skills, business, entrepreneurship, they have to, and language development, leadership skills, management, and accounting, basic computer skills. Then only they'll come into the mainstream and the equality. As the Quran says that everybody is equal before God. There is no discrimination. Men and women are equal. So the women are confined to the household work, but they are not coming. The higher education percentage is very low. So the belief system should be changed in these sectors. The Pasmanda Muslim women economic participation and empowerment are fundamental to strengthening the women's rights and enabling them to have a control over their lives and exert influence society. The economic empowerment of Pasmanda Muslim women is a prerequisite for sustainable development. Gender equality and empowered women are catalysts for multiplying development efforts. So the various fields in which Pasmanda Muslim women can gain the skills for better empowerment in the banking sector, media industry, there is a lot of scope in this, and telecom industry, information technology, management, pharmaceuticals, hospital industry, travel and tourism, electronics, child care. So the successful methods to retain Pasmanda Muslim women in the workforce can as follows: introduce trainees to role models in respective sectors, provide more and more hands-on opportunities, collect and display testimonials so that trainees can relate and take more interest in program, fetch candidates rapidly in underserved populations, develop comprehensive equity plan to identify and address discriminatory practices and artificial barriers to Pasmanda Muslim women enrollment. See here, the emphasis is on the need of the government and social efforts, empower Pasmanda Muslim women by providing equal opportunities in education and removing the gender discrimination and addressing the poverty. Further, the communication means this is the employability skills, that is the communication skills, interpersonal skills, problem solving skills, self-motivation, working under pressure, organizational skills, team spirit, learning skills, number and data skills, technology, adaptive thinking, resilience, time management and creativity, learnability, empathy and analytical skills. If they are now, the time has changed. The time is before Corona and after Corona. The equal opportunities as per this. So we need to come out the belief system, however personality develops by the information, personal experience, and other one is the belief system. If our belief system, if we educate our women, then the sustainable development, yes, and also the vision 2047 as they set the goal for controlling the world, that is the globe. So Pasmanda women needs the skill training and changing their belief system. They are not confined to the particular task. They are eligible for everywhere in the industry sector, media sector, all the sectors. In the 4 areas, we need to this, the technology assisting the people to promote their skills. So this is the thing. Education, entrepreneurship, and skill development only can change their better life, can promote the better life of the community. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Abdul Paul. Any questions from the audience? I think.
Why the BJP government is making Pasmanda as a specific group and why they are targeted?
Okay. Do you have an answer?
Now, this is identified in 1998, sir, this group particularly, background group. They wanted to, they do not know the basic literacy, minimum. The percentage is only 6 to 7%. So they're just for the sake of their welfare also, and for the policy and for the governmental publicity also. So if they are educated, they can engage them in the all aspects. Means they can come out from they are Till date, they are not participating in all activities, in the societal activities. If they are educated, if they are giving the skill training, they will be on there independently. They can lead the better life.
One more question.
Yes.
As you have suggested, that the belief system
Yeah.
among the Muslims.
Yes.
So the belief system is more and more, which is superstitious, leading to superstition.
Yes.
So that is one example among that is this burqa wearing.
Yeah.
So, from centuries it is coming.
Ah.
Now the present day when the whole world become a global village.
Yes.
And it is not now relatively as so much of importance the wearing of the burqa. Why don't you educate the people not to so much to wear about burqa? That is the major hurdle, which I believe to empower the women. That burqa system, since century is coming.
Yes.
So that needs to be changed. That is the first, I believe personally, to empower of the women. They should be at par with the other women of the world. They should be allowed to mix with the general society.
Yes, but in the rural, when compared to with these urban areas, they are open. In the Jamia Millia and Delhi University, the people are more open, and it is the religious culture, religious customs they are following. They are strongly rooted. We have to create the awareness. What are the advantages and what are the wearing of these things? So now the trend has changed. Their mindset also changing. The rewiring. We need to make them more conscious towards the social issues. Then only.
If any single woman comes against the burqa system, she is becoming a targeted by the same Muslim groups.
Yes.
That is also
Change should come, as our Nobel Prize winner, Malaika, said, one person, one man, change the whole system. So the change starts from the lower level, this rural level. And education can change. The education is the instrument which can change the society and can change the belief system. So everybody, in the God's view, as per the Quran, men and women are equal. There are no particular rules. Only particular category, particular people are forcing and following the norms. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor. I believe whether it is a Hindu or a Muslim, wherever it is, woman power is very important in the society. మీ అక్క కానీ చెల్లి కానీ మీ భార్య కానీ లేని కుటుంబాలు చూడండి ఏమైపోతాయో. ఒక్క మనిషి లేకపోతే జరగంది ఉమెన్. ఐ ఫీల్ ఉమెన్ ఈస్ గ్రేట్ 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 క్రియేషన్ ఆఫ్ గాడ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ men people are suffering. The women are not coming forward. Of course, there is the religious background, they say Sharia and other rules where they say wearing a burqa, they are not showing their hair or a face, something do happen. This country where all religions live together with minimum adherence for all these things. But just an experience of 50 years of life, I've seen a lot of women are there. Because of women only, the men are living in a better sense. Just go back and see in your own friendship, your own groups, and they are doing miracles. తెలుగులో సామెత ఉందనుకోండి, ప్రతి మగవాడు వెనకాతలో ఒక ఆడవాడు ఉంటుందని. అవన్నీ మనం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోక్కర్లేదు ఇప్పుడు. ఓకే, విల్ గో టు ది సెకండ్ థింగ్. ప్రొఫెసర్ ప్రభంజన్ యాదవ్ ఫ్రమ్ తెలంగాణ యూనివర్సిటీ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ conspiracy on caste census. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Shyam Sundarji. Good afternoon, everybody. Jai Mandal! Jai Mandal! Thank you. My topic is conspiracy against caste census. So, chairman of the Mandal movement in Telangana, Mandal Mahodhyam. In fact, caste is a social reality in Indian society. There is no other go. Everybody has to born in one of the castes in India. Whether you are interested in caste or if you don't believe also, you are forced to born in a particular caste in India. And wherever the Indian goes across the globe, the caste will follow you as a shadow. You cannot escape it. So that's why caste is a social reality in India. But Government of India, in its affidavit before the Supreme Court, they said that caste is an emotive issue. How it could be? Because the caste system is created by themselves. See, India was invaded by three people mainly. Number one is Aryans. Number two is Mughals. Number three is Britishers. So the first invaders are the Aryans. They came to India along with the cows, not even with their women. They forced Indian women and had children, and the generations together, they are preaching and teaching that they are the natives of India. In fact, they are foreigners to India. They invaded India. They are not the aborigines of India. So India, in fact, was inhabited by the communes. India was a habitation of communes and known for harmonious living and belongingness. When they came to India, they wisely divided the India and ruled it. But cunningly, they thrown this statement or slogan and attributed to the British. So if we have read in our textbooks, divide and rule, who introduced in India? We say the British. But in fact, this was introduced by the Aryans. Before the Britishers entered into the India, the society was divided into four categories mainly, the Varna system. According to Manusmriti, the Varnas, Chaturvarnam, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Arya, Vaishya, Shudra. Okay? So, further it was divided into castes. Not only caste, subsects. So, divide and rule is introduced by the Britishers, but they, during the national movement, they claimed that they are the Indians. So, they claimed they are Indians, and this divide and rule was thrown on Britishers. So, in fact, Britishers helped particularly the lower caste because they particularly. So, all the inhuman activities, the Aryans or the Varna system did not allow us to touch. So, they kept outside. We, the producers, and we contribute the services. We do the services. But they make utilize our produce and also our services. But they don't want to touch us. For example, in Telugu we say Taddinam, the death anniversary. We offer all the pulses, rice, paddy and others, at least 10 things we offer. They take away all these, but they don't want to eat in our houses. Because just we are adding only the fire and water. All the produces we are giving, but they go and they cook in their own houses and they consume it. You see, if we are untouchables, if we are inferior to them, why do they utilize our services and our goods? So, because Britishers never divided, but wisely and cunningly, this Brahmin system, Aryan Brahminical system, thrown on them, they criticized. So, in fact, the Britishers, they educated us, particularly the untouchables, the tribals, and also to some extent BCs. So, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, he studied in English in Pune in an orphanage. So that English made him to study three revolutionary books written by Thomas Paine, The Rights of Man, The Age of Reasoning, and also the Stuart Mill's book on liberty. So after reading these books, he looked at the Hindu society or Indian society. He ashamed of it. The human beings are not treated equally. Even they love their animals, their pets, but the fellow human beings. So this system, after Mahatma Jyotirao Phule read these books, and he was himself revolutionized, and he wanted to reform the society. He brought social revolution, and he introduced education, because education is the emancipation. Education is the empowerment. For example, as a shepherd, as a Yadava, our community used to rear the animals, sheep, goat and cows. We produce milk, we produce meat and wool and also leather and also the manure. But we are ill-treated. Ill-treated in Telugu, Golloniki malle puste gosla pettukuntaru. Golloniki vepakayanta verri. They humiliated with these quotations, sayings. See, we are your well-wishers. With our milk, you are taking milk, not only milk, but also all the byproducts, curd and everything, neji, ghee. But you are ill-treating us. So not only ill-treated Yadavas, but also every product to caste and also the service caste. So against this, our forefathers like Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, after Buddha in modern India, and Sahuji Maharaj, Periyar, we are all revolted against the Brahminical Chauvinism. Okay? So, since then, in 1902, as rightly said by Professor Simadri Garu in the morning session, in his keynote address, Sahuji Maharaj introduced reservations, 50% reservation in Kolhapur, princely state, later introduced by the Dravidian movement. Okay? So, the census, on the basis of census only, we can give the representation. We should know the population of those castes. So, India, in fact, it is a caste society. Without caste, even the Brahmins, the upper caste people, those who are enjoying the power, they are enjoying by using caste as a weapon or a ladder. So, they divided the Indian society into grades. They degraded and also graded. So, this must be enumerated. So, thanks to the Britishers brought so many reformations. Census is one among them. So, caste census has been conducted in 1931 till 2011, after attainment of independence, and also enacted the Census Act of 1948. The caste census used to conduct. But after attaining the independence, they opposed before the independence also, but after independence, they don't want to conduct the caste census till 2011. So why 2011? Because the Mandal Commission was announced to implement on 7th August of 1990. The whole India was vertically divided into two, anti-reservation and pro-reservation. So that when the Mandal Commission is outbroken, then the people from our communities, backward class communities and reservation communities, we studied what happened in the history. What was our history? What Mahatma Jyotirao Phule taught? What Periyar taught? Why they have taken up the social movements? So, in the northern India, the socialist movements, we studied all those, and we are aware of the facts, what happened in the history. And we tried to question how it could be only according to the democracy and Indian constitution, majority people should rule it. Why minority people are ruling? So thanks to the Bahujan Samaj Party and Kanshiram, when he practiced, he applied the theory made by the Mahatma Jyotirao Phule and also Baba Saheb Ambedkar, he put into practice and he could come to the power recently in 1990s. So that kind of consciousness and awareness made us to demand for the caste census. In 2011, when the Congress was conducting, the BJP people, they promised these communities, if you vote us to power, definitely we will conduct the caste census. And they criticized the sitting Congress government then, and all other opposition parties came to power, came together and they demanded the caste census. So why now the BJP is hesitating to conduct the caste census? Because there is minorities government. They want to propose the power to the minorities. They want to maintain the Manusmriti. It is now they are also claiming Manusmriti is the ancient constitution in India. In fact, it is not at all. And cultural backgrounds of the people, and they have to conduct the survey and know after that only they can be a constitution. It can be a constitution. So it was written by a unknown person. We don't know Manu, but he has written, and there are several amendments have done by the successive Brahmin intellectuals, and they ill-treated the Indian society. So now they want to enjoy the power even after attainment of independence, great independence, and also a democratic process. But Indian constitution was, there is a constituent assembly, the members, they sit and they discussed and they have made the Indian constitution with little provisions, because then also the upper caste people, members of that constituent assembly, they did not accept or did not allow Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to give the reservations to the OBC communities also. So to give the reservation, caste census is must. So that we have to consider, and we are demanding for that. Now, why they are not conducting means, if then we are not only demanding the OBC caste census, we are demanding for the whole caste. The caste census we are demanding. So even we should know and must know what is the population of the Brahmins, what is the population of Vaishyas, what is the population of Shudras, particularly the Kshatriyas, Neo-Kshatriyas, who have developed just like Kammas, Reddis and Velumas. Others should, their population is also to be enumerated. So this is, we are demanding for the caste census, not the OBC caste census. You see, the upper caste people, they are, particularly their women, is studying, the literacy rate is very high in upper caste, and the woman is getting married after attaining 30 to 35 years age. Okay, so they are when we know the strength of our population. This is the number. Out of 130 crores or 140 crores, I think we are 90%. The upper caste altogether, they are only not even 10%. The 10% people are having 10% of EWS reservations. This is against the constitution. So we may question, if we know the number of the population of our backward classes, all backward classes, they are afraid of that. So that's why they don't want to conduct the caste census, and they don't want to reveal. Even in Telangana, when KCR became Chief Minister of Telangana, he conducted a survey, Samajika survey. So far, he did not reveal the information. What is the fact? What is the number of the OBCs in Telangana? You see, then he realized that, oh, this much of population they are having. That's why we should not, the Telangana movement was for Nillu, Nidulu, Niyamakalu. That means water, irrigation water, and also funds, and also for employment. So all these three were taken away by the Andhras. That's why we have to fight. He instigated during the movement, and later, after coming to the power, he has given sheep to the Golla Kurmas, Yadavas, and funds for the upper caste, even Andhras also. And the great contractor, Krishna, Mega Krishna Reddy, okay, like that. So then he did not see he is an Andhra, but Mega Krishna Reddy offered much commission. That's why all the contracts were given to them. Okay, and water is for the landlords' lands. The Bahujans have less land. Okay, so that's why they don't want to reveal the number of the Bahujans. Mudraj and Besta, Gangaputra, they were given fish. So likewise, other communities are just allude and offering small benefits. So our people are not thinking. No other government has given so far sheep to the Yadavas and fish to the Gangaputra and Jalari, like that. Okay, so hence, when we know the strength, we may demand for our rights. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing, we have this much of number, so we can vote for ourselves. Thanks to the Mandal Commission, and thanks to the Bahujan movement, thanks to the Ambedkar and Pule and all other reformers, those who have awakened us. So with that inspiration, in the post-independent era, they are not, we may demand for power, because vote hamara, Raj bhi hamara. So that's why the upper caste people are not conducting the caste census. I have given so much information in the paper that you may read in the book form. And one thing, in the morning session, Professor Simhadri Garu told, due to Dravidian movement, in South India, particularly Tamil Nadu, the BCs come to power. In North India, thanks to the socialist movement, they came to the power in UP and Bihar. But now, we have to thank to the Mandal movement. Across the nation, in all the states of India, we will come to the power. That is sure, because we have many votes. We have great number of votes. So I request all our community people, all the BC, SC, ST and minority people, to vote ourselves, and for which we need a political platform. Immediately we have to form a political platform, and we have to challenge the upper caste political parties. Because in upper caste political parties, they have the right to give the B farms. We have to beg for the B farms in those parties. So if we form a political party, local political party or regional political party, then we will vote for our people, we will come to the power, because as rightly said by the Ambedkar, Parishkaram. So political power is the master key. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. సకల సమస్యలకు రాజ్యాధికారమే పరిష్కారం. ఎప్పుడో నుంచి చదువుకుంటూ ఉన్నాం. ఆఖరిగా చెప్పిన ఆ పదమే మనకు చాలా ముఖ్యం. ఎందుకంటే ప్రతి ఒక్క వ్యక్తికి చేసాం, నన్ను ఈసీ చేశారు, తర్వాత ఏం చేయగలిగాను, అంతే, అక్కడితో ఆగిపోయింది. మిమ్మల్ని పెద్ద పెద్ద సంస్థల్లో కూర్చోబెడతారు, మీ చేత ఏం పని చేయించరు. వాళ్ళకి ఇచ్చాం వీళ్ళకి ఇచ్చామని పని చెప్తారు, మీ పనులు మీకు కావు. సార్, ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్ టు అవర్ ప్రభంజన్ యాదవ్? ప్లీజ్ మాట్లాడండి సార్. ప్లీజ్ మండల్జీ రండి.
జనరల్ కేటగిరీ ఓసీ పాపులేషన్ వచ్చేసి సెన్సస్ లేదు కదా సార్, మరి ఆ 10% రిజర్వేషన్ అనేది క్యాన్సిల్ చేయడానికి ఏమైనా అవకాశం ఉందా?
ఈడబ్ల్యూఎస్ రిజర్వేషన్ గురించా? మార్గం ఉంది, అది క్యాస్ట్ సెన్సస్. వాళ్ళ కులం ఎంతో తెలిసినప్పుడు వాళ్ళలో ఎకనామికల్గా బ్యాక్వర్డ్ వాళ్ళు 2% ఉన్నారు. 10% టోటల్ పాపులేషన్ అయితే 2% ఉంటుంది కనుక దట్ మే బీ క్యాన్సల్. సో ఫర్ విచ్ వీ నీడ్ ఎ క్యాస్ట్ సెన్సస్ so that we know their original figure, how much population they have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
ఏమండి ఇల్లే మేము తెలంగాణలో అంటే 3-4 years బ్యాకే మండల్ మహోద్యమం అని చేపట్టినాం. ప్రతి మండలంలో మండల్ విగ్రహము, తెలంగాణలో 1000 విగ్రహాలు, అలాగే ఆంధ్రలో కూడా ప్రతి మండలంలో మండల విగ్రహం 1000 విగ్రహాలు అనే కార్యక్రమం తీసుకుంటే ప్రతి మండలంలో ఇట్లాంటి మన సమావేశాలు ఏర్పాటు చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇట్లాగే మండల విగ్రహాలు పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. ఇవాళ అంబేద్కర్ ప్రతి ఊర్లో 2-3 విగ్రహాలు కూడా వచ్చినాయి. ముఖ్యంగా ఆంధ్రలో ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయి తెలంగాణలో కంటే. కనుక ఆ విగ్రహాల చుట్టూ ఎస్సీలు పోలరైజ్ అవుతున్నారు, వాళ్ళు చైతన్యవంతం అవుతున్నారు, వాళ్ళు మీటింగ్ల ద్వారా సాహిత్యం ద్వారా వాళ్ళు చైతన్యం అవుతున్నారు. సో ఇవాళ ఓబీసీలు కూడా చైతన్యం కావాలంటే మనం కూడా ఈ మండల్ మూమెంట్ ద్వారా ముందుకు పోయి ప్రతి మండలంలో ఒక విగ్రహం పెట్టుకుని అక్కడ దాని ఒక శంకుస్థాపనకు ఒక మీటింగ్, ఆ తర్వాత నిర్మాణం జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు ఒక మీటింగ్, ఆవిష్కరణకు ఒక మీటింగ్ కనుక పెట్టుకున్నట్టయితే బీసీలు అందరూ కూడా ఒక చోటికి వస్తారు. ఎందుకంటే ఏ ఒక్క కులం కూడా యాదవులు కానీ లేకపోతే మున్నూరు కాపు కానీ ఇంకే కాపు కానీ గౌడ్స్ కానీ ఒక్క కులం 100% ఓట్లు వేసుకుంటే అధికారులకు రాము. మనం ఇతరులను కలుపుకున్నప్పుడు మాత్రమే వస్తాం. కనుక ఆ కలపడానికి, అందరిని కలపడానికి ఇటీవల అంటే భారతదేశంలో ఇండిపెండెన్స్ తర్వాత మండల్ మూవ్మెంట్ ఒక్కటే చేయగలిగింది. ప్రో రిజర్వేషన్, యాంటీ రిజర్వేషన్లో యాంటీ రిజర్వేషన్ వాళ్ళకి వ్యతిరేకంగా ఎస్సీ, ఎస్టీ, బీసీ మైనార్టీలందరూ కూడా ఒక్కటయ్యారు. అదేవిధంగా ఇది గ్రామ స్థాయి వరకు తీసుకుపోవాలి. ఈ ఒక్క సంవత్సరం మన ఉద్యోగాలు ఉన్నవాళ్ళు ప్రతి ఆదివారం కానీ సెలవుల్లో కానీ, ఆ తర్వాత విద్యార్థులు యూనివర్సిటీలు కాలేజీలు అన్నీ వదిలేయండి. దాదాపు 2 లక్షలకు పైగా రాజకీయ పదవులు 2 రాష్ట్రాల్లో ఖాళీగా ఉన్నాయి. మనమే సర్పంచ్ కావాలి, మనమే వార్డు మెంబర్ కావాలి, మనమే ఎంపీటీసీ కావాలి, మనమే ఎమ్మెల్యే కావాలి, మనమే ఎంపీ కావాలి, మనమే ముఖ్యమంత్రి కావాలి, మంత్రి కావాలి, ప్రధానమంత్రి కావాలి. ఆ విధంగా ఒక ఉద్యమ స్ఫూర్తితోటి మనం అందరినీ కలుపుకునే పోయే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తే తప్పకుండా 2003 ఎన్నికల్లోనే మనం అధికారంలోకి వస్తాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
సమావేశాలు పెట్టడము, మీరు చెప్పిన విషయాలు చాలా వరకు అందరికీ తెలిసిన విషయాలు చెప్పారు. ఒక ముందడుగు వేయడానికి ఈ సెన్సస్ ఏ విధంగా మరి మనం ఇది సాధించుకోగలం, 2-3% ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి 10% రిజర్వేషన్ ఇవ్వడం అనేది అత్యంత దుర్మార్గం. దాని మీద కార్యాచరణ ప్రణాళిక ఏదైనా చెప్పగలిగితే ఏపీ నుండి కూడా మేము ఫాలో అవడానికి సిద్ధంగా ఉన్నాం.
ఈడబ్ల్యూఎస్ రిజర్వేషన్స్ మన ఉద్యమాన్ని ముందుకు తీసుకుపోవడానికి ఒక ప్రధానమైన కారణం అవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు మొట్టమొదటి సిపాయిల తిరుగుబాటు జరిగినప్పుడు తూటాలకి ఆవు నెయ్యి, పంది నెయ్యి పెట్టేవాడు. పంది నెయ్యి పెట్టినందుకు ముస్లిమ్స్, ఆవు నెయ్యి పెట్టినందుకు హిందువులు తిరుగుబాటు చేశారు. అట్లాగా ఈడబ్ల్యూఎస్ రిజర్వేషన్లు ఇది అన్యాయము, అక్రమము. మండల్ కమిషన్ రిజర్వేషన్లు ఇవ్వమన్నప్పుడు 40% ఆయన రికమెండ్ చేస్తే 27% ఇస్తున్నారు. మరి మేము ఇంత జనాభా ఉన్నప్పుడు మాకు ఎందుకు ఇవ్వట్లేదు, వాళ్ళకి ఎందుకు ఇచ్చారు అని మనం ఈ చైతన్య కార్యక్రమాలు స్కూళ్ళల్లో, కాలేజీలలో, యూనివర్సిటీలలో, సమాజంలో అక్కడక్కడ మీటింగ్లు పెట్టుకుంటూ మన ప్రజల్ని చైతన్యం చేసి ఒక నిశ్శబ్ద విప్లవం, ఒక శాంతియుతమైనటువంటి విప్లవం చేయొచ్చు. అది ఓటు విప్లవం. ఈసారి ఓట్లు వాళ్ళకి వేయకుండా ఒకవేళ వాళ్ళు డబ్బులు ఇస్తే డిమాండ్ చేయండి 5 లక్షలకు ఒక ఓటు అని. ఎందుకంటే ఇచ్చే హక్కు వాడికి ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది, స్తోమత ఎట్లా వచ్చింది? తరతరాలుగా మనల్ని దోచుకుంటేనే వాళ్ళకి ఇచ్చేటువంటి ఆ స్థాయి వచ్చింది. కనుక ఇన్నాళ్ళు మనకు మోసం చేశారు, ఒక్కసారి మనం మోసం చేద్దాం. ఏంది? వాళ్ళ దగ్గర డబ్బులు తీసుకుందాం, మన చైతన్య కార్యక్రమాలు చేసుకుందాం. ఓటు వేసినప్పుడు 3 వైపుల దడి ఉంటుంది, 4వ వైపు నువ్వు ఉంటావు, ఎవరు చూడరాడు. ఒక్కసారి 75 ఏళ్ళ నుంచి తరతరాల నుంచి వాళ్ళు మనం మోసం చేసి అడ్జస్ట్ ఒక్కసారి మోసం చేసి మన ఆత్మసాక్షిగా మన వల్ల ఓటేసుకుంటే రాజ్యాధికారం వస్తుంది. రాజ్యాధికారమే సకల సమస్యలకు పరిష్కారం. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Thank you, sir. Sir Mandal, please do come. No, come stay with us. You are the attraction here.
I was asking some questions and I'll ask from here.
No, you come here and ask. Please be seated. Ask her a question. You will answer.
By information, what we have said, that the population of backward classes in Andhra and Telangana is equitably distributed and is a considerably in large numbers. Why aren't they politically so active in Andhra and in Telangana? Number one. And number two, by the kind of scenario in Telangana, since there is anti-incumbency against Chandrasekhar Rao, and the BC votes are being wooed by the Bharatiya Janata Party. The same party, because that is the only alternative they are presenting. Because both TDP and YSR Congress is not active in Telangana. So BJP is trying to get those votes. The votes of the same people whom in North India they are crushing, in whole of India they are doing lots of injustice. They are not doing caste census, they are not giving reservations. Sir, in my university, in my college, 8 seats of OBCs have been abolished without any rule. All these things are happening. All appointments are being done by RSS people. People from SC, ST, OBCs are being crushed in Delhi University also. So, sir, why shouldn't there be a good alternative in Telangana? And what should BCs do?
Thank you, sir. You have asked a good question. And you see, in Telangana particularly, even in Andhra also, BCs are ignored. They are minimized. If you look at the composition of the cabinet in Telangana and Andhra, and the tickets offered during the elections are only for the upper caste. So before Telangana, 2014, there were 24 OBC MLAs in Assembly of Telangana. After that, the number is decreased. That is, now we are having only 19 MLAs in Telangana Assembly, the OBC MPs, MLAs. See, we thought that if we are majority in India, Telangana, we may get more opportunities, we may be empowered, we may get the power. But the head of the political party who is giving B farms is an upper caste man. In Telangana movement, we all fought in the name of JACs or caste organizations. But the KCR, he came to the Telangana movement by registering a political party. Because of a politician and an upper caste man, he wants power. According to Indian Constitution, we get power only through the political party. Whichever the political party win majority seats, the governor or the Rashtrapati, they invite the political party to form the government. But whereas the OBCs, they don't have a political party even now also, either in Andhra or in Telangana. We are looking at who will register a political party. What is the background of that person? Whether he goes into the people or not. Whether people will believe in him and his party. And we OBCs, we don't believe. And moreover, the segregation of the caste system make us to doubt everybody. If Yadavs come forward, the immediate another BC community, just like Gowda or Munnur Kapu, Padmashali or Jalarlu, whatever it may be, they look, only Yadavs are going forward. Why should we support him? We will also form a political party. So this divide and rule introduced by the Aryan Brahmanism, that is still in our blood. So that's why we are unable to unite together. If we don't unite, if we are not aware of the political power, because we did not enjoy so far. And if some people from our own communities, they become MLCs, MLAs and MPs, they talk about the glorifying the rule of their own master, chief minister. In the morning also we witnessed it. The same thing is happening in Telangana. So when we have the self-pride, self-respect, when we have our own political party. So now humbly I request all our OBC population to form the political party, and we will only conduct the census. If now the government of India postponed the caste census after 2014 elections, because 2024 elections, because if they come to power, they will again postpone it for 31. If they don't come for, it would not be a headache for them. Whoever comes to the power, that will be the headache. So hence, first of all, I request our communities, OBC communities, to form a political party. Either it caters to the needs of a regional or the national level party. So until and unless we never come to the power, until and unless we form a political party, we never come to the power. So particularly, thanks to the Telangana movement, and before that, the IDT movements were so much grown like anything. We used to challenge the governments, but during Telangana movement, they are all put aside, and Telangana movement came forward, and the political leaders who were from upper caste. So due to the Naxal movements, they migrated, leaving the villages and their properties in the villages. They migrated to cities, and they were into the real estate and other businesses. They earned crores and crores of rupees. Again, in the form of the Telangana movement, they came to the villages of Telangana in the name of Gulabi Party, Pink Party, and they renovated their own gadis, their big houses, and they posed as leaders. They had big cars like Fortuners and Innovas and others. They used to feed the people who sit in their cars. So that's why, again, in the movement, after Telangana movement, they only come to the power, because they were given B farms. Now that's why the Reddys are having more than 40 MLAs, about 46 MLAs. And Velmas, these Reddys comprises only 3% of the population in Telangana. And Velmas, not even 0.4%, but they have 11 MLAs and 4 ministers, including chief minister. Okay. So likewise, the OBCs altogether, even Yadavs they are only 5. Their population is more than 10 to 20%, in between 22. As at least 12 Yadava MLA should be there. Gowdas only 4. Likewise, Munnur Kapu, they have proportionate representation. So other communities like Padmashali, no single MLA. Mudraj, highest population in Telangana, it is shown in Samajika survey, they have only 1 MLA. So until and unless we have the political awareness, political power quest for the political power, we will remain as slaves. So that's why we have to organize such meetings everywhere, anywhere, just like with a spirited movement, that is Mandal movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. మనకి అందరికన్నా తక్కువ ఉన్న దాంట్లో కారణం ఏంటంటే ఓబీసీలు కెనాట్ స్టార్ట్ ఎ న్యూ పార్టీ బికార్ పాసిటీ ఆఫ్ ఫండ్స్. ఎవరైనా ఒకరు వచ్చారంటే వాళ్ళ దగ్గర డబ్బులు లేవు, డబ్బులంతా ఉన్నదంతా ఫార్వర్డ్ క్యాస్టే. వాళ్ళే ఎన్నైనా చేయగలరు. ఉద్యమ తీరులో ఆయన చెప్పిన విధాన్ని చూశారు, మనందరం కలిసి ఒకే పార్టీ పెట్టడానికి కూడా కష్టం. ఈరోజు ఒక ఆయన లేచి నిలబడి చేస్తున్నాడు పొంగునూరు నుంచి. పాపం ఎంతమంది బెదిరి ఆడుకున్నాడు, ఎంతమంది ముందుకు వచ్చారు. సో విల్ గో టు ద నెక్స్ట్ ప్లీజ్.
శ్యామ్ సుందర్ గారు చెప్పినట్టు మన దగ్గర డబ్బులు లేవంటున్నారు. డబ్బులు ఉన్నాయి, మస్తున్నాయి. ఒక్క గుంటూరు టౌన్లో మనం కంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేయగలిగితే, ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఎమ్మెల్సీ పదవి కోసం, ఒక రాజ్యసభ దానికోసము 100 కోట్లు ఇవ్వడానికి సిద్ధపడ్డ వాళ్ళు చాలామంది ఉన్నారు. నిజంగా ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటే ఒక గుంటూరు సిటీలో ₹1,00,00,000 ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు 1000 మంది ఉంటారండి. థ్యాంక్స్ టు ది రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ బిజినెస్, పర్టికులర్లీ అమరావతి. అర్థమైందా? ₹1,00,00,000 ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు 1000 మంది ఉంటారు. కానీ ఇవ్వరు, మనకివ్వరు. మన మీద నమ్మకం ఉండదు. అగ్రకులాల మీద నమ్మకం. ఈ 100 కోట్లు అక్కడ ఇస్తే నేను రాజ్యసభ మెంబర్ అయిపోతా కదా, నేను ఎమ్మెల్సీ అయిపోతా కదా అని అనుకుంటాం. సో అది మన పొద్దున సింహాద్రి గారు చెప్పారు, అంటే మూమెంట్ ఎక్కడ స్టార్ట్ కావాలి? విదిన్ అవర్ మైండ్స్. ముందు మన మైండ్స్లో ఆ ఘర్షణ రావాలి. మనం వాళ్ళకి బానిసలుగా ఉండి 100 కోట్లు ఇచ్చి పదవులు కొనుక్కుందామా, మనమే కాకుండా మనం మొత్తం కమ్యూనిటీస్ని ఎంపవర్ చేసుకుందాం అనేది మనలో ఆలోచన ఉండాలి. పైసలు ఉన్నాయండి, అంతేకాదు. ఇప్పుడు ఒక బిడ్డ సమృద్ధి అయితే 10 లక్షలు 5 లక్షలు ఖర్చు పెట్టి ఫంక్షన్ చేస్తాం, చాలా గ్రాండ్గా చేస్తాం. పెళ్లి చేస్తే ఇట్లాంటి ఫంక్షన్ హాల్ ఉంటాయి కదా, ఫంక్షన్ హాల్కి 20 లక్షలు ఖర్చు పెడతాం. కొడుకు బర్త్డే చేస్తే కూడా 100 మందికి తినిపిస్తాం, తాపిస్తాం, 2 లక్షలు ఖర్చు పెడతాం. అసలు ఇలాంటి సామాజిక ఉద్యమాలకి మనకు రాజ్యాధికారం వచ్చడానికి డబ్బులు ఏమంటే, మొన్ననే కొడుకుని అమెరికా పంపించిన లేవన్నా లోన్ పెట్టినా ఆ లోన్ కట్టడానికే ఇబ్బంది అవుతుంది. మొన్ననే బిడ్డ పెళ్లి చేసిన 2 కోట్లు కట్నం ఇచ్చిన అంటాడు. అర్థమైందా? పైసలు లేక కాదు, ఇవ్వ బుద్ధి కాక, ఇవ్వ బుద్ధి లేక.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. లాస్ట్ బట్ నాట్ లీస్ట్, శ్రీ వీరేంద్ర యాదవ్, ఫార్మర్ జస్టిస్, subordination of Bahujan majority, the origin of sustenance and possible annihilum.
Thank you, Professor Shamsundarji. Dear friends, first of all, I will like to congratulate the people of Guntur, wherein the statue of Honorable B.P. Mandal is being installed and unveiled shortly on 12th. And I assure that this will prove a milestone for the country to awaken and for the awareness of the backward classes. Today's research paper, Subordination of Bahujan Majority, Origin, Sustenance and Possible Annihilation, in this research paper, I will not take so much time. Some abstract was sent earlier, and this paper will speak itself. The SC, ST and OBC caste in the Bahujan caste, despite being numerically stronger, have suffered upper caste domination led by formidable Brahmin Kshatriya nexus. It is difficult to find any other light थोड़ा सा It is difficult to find any other instance of such systemic domination and degradation of such large number by so few. The suppression and marginalization of the Bahujan majority by upper caste groups has continued unabated since the devious and inhuman project began several centuries ago. Over time, such suppression was institutionalized and strengthened through several means with the sole objective of perpetuating the birth-based caste order comprising of Brahmins at the top of the social hierarchy. Brahminical social order, no system of naked oppression of a large majority can continue for long without its acceptance by the oppressed class. The acceptance of oppressed class of its fate has also contributed to the sustenance and longevity of an openly unfair, hostile, and discriminatory social order like the Indian caste system. The birth-based social order devised by Brahmins centuries ago defies all logic and yet gains from strength to strength, frustrating the efforts of intellectual gains like Dr. Ambedkar and great social thinkers like Mahatma Phule and Periyar. Brahmanism's success lies not so much in keeping the large majority of Brahmins deprived, but in making them almost willing parties to such deprivation for several countries. The Bahujans' consensus was cleverly stitched together by institutionalized Brahmanism over several centuries and was not adequately resisted despite its openly unequal and logic-defying birth-based caste order. The lack of resistance had its origin in several factors, including Bahujan's own lack of awareness about their strength and the religious forces at play that were not only keeping the Bahujans disunited and ignorant, but also undermining the social mobility and economic advancement. Project Brahmanism deployed different tools and tricks to assiduously nurture the caste-based social order and continues to do till date. Continues to do so till date. Being conscious of the fact that they were numerically insignificant, the Brahmins devised a mechanism to impose their hegemony on the Bahujan majority. In order to get the vast majority of Bahujan to accept the birth-based caste hierarchy, Brahmins roped in divine and a mythical God-ordained system, which was documented in scriptures written by them and suited to perpetuation of their social hegemony. The concept of karma and rebirth were designed to convince the Bahujan that their present birth at the bottom of the social hierarchy is a result of their past sinful deeds in the previous birth. And further, if they alone by leading a good life, God in the next life, leading to life which entailed unquestionably serving the upper caste. They would be rewarded by God in the next life by given birth in the upper caste family. Such baseless narratives were propagated as order of nature that needed to adhere to by all. In this research paper, it may take some time. I would like to sum up that whatever has been given to backward classes by the higher caste, the so-called supermost caste Brahmins, that is the faith in that God which have not seen by anyone anywhere. And a fear has been created for the society. And we find in the society that we are used to or we are forced to take the faith in the God, either in our success or in our failure, whatever it may be. The question is that how we have to come out from this scenario. So we have to awaken, we have to get awareness, a scientific view. We have to adopt a scientific view. That scientific view, which was established by Gautam Buddha. First, you see, then you know, and then you proceed. Unless you पहले देखो, फिर समझो, और फिर मानो. This was a scientific view. And unless we adopt this scientific view, we cannot get ourselves out of this device or formulas which have been emerged by the thinking of Brahmins. Who were the Brahmins? Who are the Brahmins? Everybody knows that they have been invaders. From where they emerged, these varnas, Brahmins, Kshatriya, Shudras, and Caste, and Vaishya. We were the Mool Nivasi. We were the Indians. When we were evaded by the Aryans, who came here to crush our innocent peoples, we the innocent peoples. Some people supported them, and some people take care of them, and rest of the people opposed. The 85% people of ancient India, I think, have opposed the Brahmins. The so-called 15%, as per census of 1931, which further have been applied by Honorable Mandal, BP Mandal, in his report. Those 15% persons, and out of those 15%, there are only 3% who are called Brahmins. Kshatriya, Vaishya, maybe other 12%. But from where they came. They are same Mool Nivasi who supported the Brahmins or compromised with them or were taking care of the Brahmins. And rest with these 12%, with 13%, they were regularly governed the other inhabitants, distributing them the work and dividing them in the caste. And that had been the future made by them for the Indians. So, with this aspect that we have not to go so much deep in the ancient history, we have to get ourselves aware that why the 85% is not getting our due in the resources of our country. We have to get awareness in our people. We have to collectively work as per Baba Sahib Ambedkar, that we have to educate ourselves and we have to unite and we have to struggle. So these things, if we adopt, we, the people of 85% in India, will automatically get their share of 85% in Indian resources, and the Sankhyaत्मक भागीदारी, as per Kashiram slogan, that जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी उसकी उतनी हिस्सेदारी, and this cannot be achieved unless the caste census is done and the pupils are not getting aware of their rights. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the audience? For Virender Yadav ji. Anybody? Okay, sir. This section is over. I think, what about second section? Oh, this is the last one. Okay, thank you very much for all audience who were there from morning onwards and had the lunch here, having a good discussion about the reservations and what are our future things. We will meet tomorrow at the same time. Thank you very much. Bye, sir.